Lelokuliwe on allegations of misconduct. Outer CEO Wayne Duvenage says the minister is obstructing the work of what he believes was a capable and effective board.
This for us is gross political interference. She is getting in the way of good governance of SA tourism, and we believe that the minister needs to retract her statement with regards to disbanding this board. And if she doesn't, then we urge the board to take the minister on in court and urgently and have her decision overturned, which we've seen in many cases before where the courts can intervene.
Members of the public will soon have an opportunity to anonymously share information that can potentially be used by the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, which is investigating corruption and political interference within the police service. Yesterday, the commission announced it would begin its work on the 1st of September to probe explosive allegations made by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi last month. President Cyril Ramaphosa established the inquiry in a bid to address Mkhwanazi's allegations and to regain the public trust in police. Commission spokesperson Jeremy Michaels says checks and balances are still being put in place to ensure compliance with the Public Finance Management Act.
That includes IT systems, it includes all the infrastructure that the Commission needs to do its work to operate. And so those requirements, hotlines, websites, etc., are all in the works in the procurement system.
The NPA says it will oppose any appeal or new application for bail by murder-accused Sandton businessman Katiso Katie Molefe. Molefe was denied bail by the Alexandra Magistrates Court yesterday. The court found that he failed to prove exceptional circumstances to warrant his release. Molefe was arrested last month in connection with the murder of DJ Somebody, whose real name was Opa Sifoka. He was later also charged with the murder of Hector Buthelezi, who was known as DJ Fintos. Khomozo Modise reports.
It's not the first time that a magistrate's court has denied bail for Katiso KT Molefe. Earlier this year, his bid for bail failed in the Vereeniging Magistrates Court, where he appeared for being the alleged mastermind behind the hit on engineer Armand Swart. But he brought another application before the Pretoria High Court, and that was granted. Now the NPA says it's ready to oppose any more requests for bail by Molefe. Spokesperson Pindim Jonondwane.
We will continue opposing his release on bail because there was no exceptional circumstances that were presented before court as required by the bail system, and therefore it is only in the interest of justice that he be kept in custody until he is dealt with in accordance with the law.
Molefe will return to the Alexandra Magistrates Court next month. Khomozo Modise, Eyewitness News in Alexandra.
And civil society leaders say South Africans are growing impatient as some promises of development go unanswered. More than 2,000 organizations from across the world have come together to hold governments accountable as part of talks at the G20. The group tabled its initial policy draft brief in Pretoria yesterday, and its chairperson Thulani Chefuta says while policy discussions at platforms like the National Dialogue and the G20 are important, a lack of implementation is frustrating citizens.
The impatience of the people with the National Dialogue must be interpreted to mean they are making a clarion call for the talk of the National Dialogue to be linked to action. Talk without action is what is frustrating people. So the conversations of the National Dialogue must never be complete until there are clearly defined actions of what will be done to fulfill the very spirit of what we may have identified as the pressing challenges.
Gold is trading at $3,342.81 an ounce. The rand is at 17.70 to the dollar, 23.84 to the pound, 20.62 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $65.79 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got some delays heading towards Midrand on the N1 South approaching Olifantsfontein Road. There's also queuing traffic along the R59 North approaching Klipprivier Drive. Please be on the lookout there.
And in your sport, Orlando Pirates find first win and points to the Betway Premiership season after sneaking past Stellenbosch. Proteas bowler to undergo ICC assessment for bowling action, and athletes deal with the wet Lausanne Diamond League meets.
A fine day in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg starting at 11 degrees, peaking at 28, Pretoria 10 and 28 as well, Vereeniging 11 and 27 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, the organization Undoing Tax Abuse has accused Tourism Minister Patricia de Lille of political interference following her decision to dissolve the Tourism Board.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards at 702 and Yoko. Let's celebrate excellence, one vote at a time. Go to primediaplus.com now to vote for the finalist that makes Gauteng feel like home.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
6 minutes after 6 o'clock. It's a Thursday. It's Friday Eve. It's Friday Eve. It's the night before the start of the weekend. Well, the morning, I should rather say. Good morning to you wherever you are listening to us from. In Protea Glen, in Rustenburg, in Randburg, in Centurion, in Lenasia, in Bryanston, in Kempton Park, somewhere else in the world. Welcome one, welcome all. The entire team is with me this morning. Sfisa Zulu, as you've heard, giving you the latest in eyewitness news. Amoramila is on traffic. Good morning, young lady.
Good morning, Bongs. Morning, 702 landers.
KG on the desk, starting the clock. Muteo Haripe with business and a lot more cheekiness. Does that work? Business cheekiness? Good morning, young man.
Why is it always cheek with me? Or any other pesky question? Meanwhile, you're the cheeky one on this.
It all comes from love. It all comes from a place of love. Rafiwe and Bapelile are the producers taking your calls. We're still on a quest to find a yo-yo. We'll catch up with that later with Bapelile. Does she have the yo-yo? Or maybe a flute. Maybe at least she brought the flute. Because she's been promising, you see, these things. If you want to watch the madness, you can catch it all on our YouTube streaming live platform, our channel. You can watch whether or not Bapelile indeed does have her yo-yo or her flute. And we've got Anthony Teixeira taking you through the latest you need to know in sport.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
You know that person who's the master of shade. I think when it comes to our team, I am the master of shade. All right, on our menu today, we will start with Groundup. As you know, they do phenomenal investigative journalism, looking at a number of issues, and they do this freely to the public. Their information is not behind a paywall. They rely entirely on donations, and so we try to put a spotlight on the very important work they do. One of the issues that we are going to be dealing with when we speak to Daniel Steyn, one of the Groundup reporters, is this former lottery board member who has been ordered to pay back 21 million rand of lotto funds that were stolen from organizations who desperately needed it. He's been ordered to pay this money back. Will he do so? We shall watch. Do you remember the clouds are gathering? The clouds are gathering. That moment with the Water and Sanitation Minister. And then in that context, I told you about how much the Lesotho Highlands Water Project was ballooning. Well, there's a pair who've been charged with multi-million rand fraud relating to that project. That's just one of the stories we will touch on with Groundup. And now, of course, it being 2025, we are yet at another anniversary, 4 years since the fateful day of the killing of Babita Deokaran. I'm pleased to tell you we've got her brother Rakesh, who's agreed to speak to us after 7 o'clock. Have the authorities responded sufficiently to what she was trying to raise? Did she give up her life in vain? We'll speak to Rakesh Deokaran after 7 o'clock, and then we'll also speak to Tebogo Kas, who is the convener of the Whistleblower Awards and Summit for 2025. And I'm so excited. Just before 9, we'll tell you about the FNB Art Prize exhibition.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
10 minutes after 6 o'clock. Here's a question, Muteo and Amo. I want you to weigh in on this. Have you ever watched someone dig their heels, somebody already in a hole, deep in the hole, dig themselves even deeper?
Oh, definitely.
What example can you think of? Somebody already in a hole, digging themselves even deeper.
I just off the top of my head, in conversation, you call out somebody for like racism and they'll just say my best friend, or I know someone that's black, and you just like,
why
but
do you
there've
do
been
that?
a lot of those stories in South Africa where you just watch somebody just hang themselves.
Can I remind you of a fun one?
Yeah.
Listen to this. Do you remember this moment?
Our membership figures stood at 769, 800 and 700. Listen properly. 769,820.
Shame. Remember, he was trying to read that number.
Listen carefully.
Listen properly. And the more he read it, the more he got himself into trouble. But he's not the only former president who dug themselves into a hole. Remember this moment.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people.
I need to go back to work for the American people. These allegations are false. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. These allegations are false. Right? He dug himself deeper into the hole. Amo, can you think of a scenario where somebody was already in trouble and they just wouldn't let it budge?
I'm reminded of Nosiviwe Mapisa Ngagula. And when she said, I'm just an old lady, I can't go. They're sending an old lady to jail. No, it doesn't, So who should account for wrongdoing?
What was worse was when she described the conditions of our correctional services facilities, right? Because we don't want to call them prisons anymore. You think, but wait a minute, wasn't she once upon a time in charge of the very same facilities that she now says, not for me, not for me? Do you remember that series with Vatshiswa Ndaga? What was it called? The one where that has Mzala. Mzala, imagine me. Dimkiranga haga Mzala.
It actually sounded like that.
That's exactly what it sounded like, right? Imagine me so beautiful in jail. Send us a voice note to 072-702-1702. We'll take your calls on 011-883-0702. Of course, as you always know, we use this shout out to illustrate a story we'll get to.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
It's 14 minutes after 6 o'clock. The organization Undoing Tax Abuse accusing Tourism Minister Patricia de Lille of political interference following her decision to dissolve the tourism board. De Lille had earlier called on the board to justify why it shouldn't be dissolved. Outer is saying the minister is obstructing the work of what he believes was a capable and effective board. We'll keep an eye on that developing story.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Mutel, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know from you and 702 landers this morning, have you ever introduced something to someone and they absolutely love it? And sometimes you start to feel like they love it more than you do.
For me, my favorite is when you introduce something to, say, especially a romantic partner, right? And they begin to love this thing. And then at some point, they forget where they learned it from. Yes, who introduced
But why
this?
should they always be
And
coming
then,
back to you?
No. But they'll talk about it even to you, as if you don't know, and you just sit there going,
Because they love it now.
Yes,
It's
of
their
course.
own. Now they're owning it. But
And
who
you're like,
introduced you to it? Because you were in the
They
dark
try
before
to
you
share
knew
their
about
love
it.
for it with you.
And you're like, yeah, chini.
Hey, Bongani is one of those people that always remind you.
And maybe that's why they remind me at some point.
702.
Weather.
There we go. What conditions can you face in Gauteng on this Thursday? A fine day in store for the province. Temperatures in Joburg starting at 11 degrees, peaking at 28, 10 to 28 in Pretoria, 11 and 27 degrees in Vereeniging. Bombela peaks at 33, 24 for Bloemfontein. That's the same high for Durban. Gqeberha in East London maxing at 20. Your high in Cape Town is 16.
EWN Traffic.
16 after 6, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Let's do our first report for the morning. Amok, good morning.
Good morning, Bongs. Well, we've got delays on the R59 North. So this is just as you approach Heidelberg Road, about a 30-minute hold up there already. If you're heading towards areas like Atahong, Germiston, as well as Alberton, please try to avoid the R59 North coming out of Meyerton area. While traveling on the Golden Highway in the Eldorado Park area, we've got delays there between Union Avenue and the N1 due to the long-term road works taking place along the Golden Highway. One lane is opened to traffic there and it's been used as a 2-lane route, so the other one is closed off to traffic. So please be on the lookout and try to slow down and be patient on the route. If you're traveling on the Mark 1 North, delays between Boysons Road and the Crown Interchange, peak time delays there. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a parent and a nervous but excited kid practicing her lines to put on a show-stopping performance at the school play. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a future superstar on the move. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Vodacom is now the official telecommunications partner to all our national Springbok teams and SA rugby competitions. And when we say all, we mean every single one, from juniors to seniors, women's to men's, grassroots to World Cup glory. Vodacom is right there, connecting every try, tackle, and team talk. This isn't just changing the game, it's creating extraordinary rugby moments. Vodacom, your front row seats to all things Springbok.
Outsurance will do all they can to save you money on your car insurance premium. But what if they just can't? Well, they'll give you cash just for trying. That's right, just ask for 500 Rand cash. But wait, there's more. If you don't save and have been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years, you can ask for 1,500 Rand cash. Savings or cash, you always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
What does you always get something out mean to you, Lorette?
Outsurance made it possible for us to live our dream to travel more with the money in our pocket that we save.
Let me know, what is it?
725. It was unbelievable. My husband, he sits there on the chair and he's just nodding his head and say, yes, yes, yes. This is really not just an advertisement. This is really real.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Oh, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers 2 options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual-action soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple-action pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it. Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
19 after 6, we're asking the question, have you watched someone in a hole and very deep in it keep digging deeper, completely unaware that perhaps every move, every statement they make is only making the situation worse for them? And quite often, the real issue isn't the original offense. Quite often, it's how you try to cover up for it or minimize the original offense that gets you into trouble.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
All right, 20 after 6, things you need to know at this hour. The National Police Commissioner, General Fani Masemola, today is going to oversee the destruction of drugs with more than 400 million rand in Gauteng. The event will be followed by a media briefing on ongoing nationwide operations. These are obviously illicit drugs that have been seized by police, and 400 million rand is a tidy sum, but you almost have to wonder, if you are cynical in South Africa, how much more did they seize but will not be destroying? The Gauteng High Court in Pretoria has ruled that social media statements made by, she calls herself a political activist, Anele Mda, about the ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula were in fact false and defamatory. The judgment was delivered by Justice Barkwa yesterday, ordering Mda to remove the offending posts within 24 hours, publish an unconditional retraction and apology, and to refrain from making further allegations. So what she did is she linked Fikile Mbalula to the 2015 murder of Northwest businessman Wandile Bozwana. And she said, while there are still unanswered questions around your involvement, you're linked to this thing, Mbalula took exception to this, demanded a retraction, and said, if you don't, I'll sue. He did. He's won. Mda, for her part, even in her own papers, said she didn't know these things that she was tweeting for a fact. But, you know, everybody knows it, was her best defense. The court took a dim view of that explanation. And guess what she's doing? Has she apologized within 24 hours? Has she retracted those statements? She says she's going to take this matter on appeal. She's going to try and apply for leave to appeal because she thinks a different court might come to a different decision. And she was, of course, also thrown out with costs, right? She was given a costs order, pay for everything. Not only must you pay Mbaks, pay for the lawyers, pay for your own lawyers, and she's digging herself deeper in the hole. Hence the question, have you watched somebody already in a hole digging themselves deeper?
All this from a social media post.
Yeah, Loli tweets.
Hey guys,
Fighting for her tweets.
we must be careful.
The hill she must die on are these tweets against Fikile Mbalula. Israel has called up 60,000 reservists for a ground offensive. This is to seize Gaza City, a plan approved by the Defense Minister Israel Katz and awaiting the Security Cabinet's final sign-off later this week. So the idea is that 5 divisions will join active duty troops already operating, with hundreds of thousands of Palestinians expected to be ordered south. Essentially, it's a Gaza invasion. It's a full-on invasion, and world leaders and agencies are raising concerns about this. France's Emmanuel Macron warning that the plan risks worsening an already catastrophic humanitarian crisis. Adam Gilchrist will have more on that in the World View. The DA is strongly opposing Higher Education Minister Buti Manamela's recent appointments for administrators of the Construction Services SETA, local government SETA, respectively. You remember, of course, the Higher Education Minister got into trouble for all of this, principally because of the process she had used. We hadn't even got to the individuals she wanted to appoint. She lied to Parliament about how she did so, and it seems her successor, Buti Manamela, has appointed his own set of rogues, and the DA is opposing this. I mean, let me give you an example. One of the guys who's been appointed, Lihlohonolo Masocha, right? There was a forensic investigation into a multi-million rand contract when he was CEO at the Musina Makhado Special Economic Zone in Limpopo. They hired a public relations firm for marketing and PR services to the value of 4.5 million rand. It was an extraordinary thing because one of the things they did is they had an SLA with a particular company. They didn't necessarily sign the contract so they could do this and say, but we didn't sign it. But they kept making payments to this company, right? And when questions were raised about why are you paying the company, they then backdated the contract to earlier, before the thing was signed, to explain why those payments were made. Now, these are the people you're appointing to SETAs. The DA is objecting to that. We're going to hear from Minister Manamela as to why he thinks these people are suitable. I'll give you other examples as the show goes on. And on this day in 1911, Paris woke up to a shock. Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa had vanished from the Louvre. 3 Italian handymen had slipped the masterpiece out of its frame and walked right out of the museum in front of everyone. For more than 2 years, the world searched and speculated. Newspapers splashed a smile across their front pages, and the mystery only grew. When she was finally recovered 2 years later in 1913, the drama of her disappearance had already sealed her place as the most famous painting on earth. And that's why we all know about Oh, Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa. Handymen have loved you.
702.
The newspapers.
25 after 6. Sfiso Zulu, a very good morning to you. What's in the papers around the world?
The Wall Street Journal is running with Elon Musk cooling on his new party idea. He had wanted to run for the presidency and wanted to start his own political party, but he's now pumping the brakes and he says that he wants to focus more on his businesses. But he says that he will support the current vice president, J.D. Vance, in 2028 for him to become the next leader of the United States.
I don't know how much longer Trump is going to last. It seems to me there's a plan to get him out of the way and get Vance in as quickly as possible. If you're starting to see how some of the original Trump backers are working towards that. The front page of the Sowetan, stay in your lane. Union sitting back at General Mkhwanazi. He's basically said, the KZN police commissioner, that KZN's population is growing. He needs more boots on the ground, but he can't hire more people, more police, because the unions are demanding too much money to pay police officers. The unions are saying, hang on, you're a beneficiary. You're a member of a union. The salary you get is because of us. How dare you criticize us? Which way do you dice it? The front page of the Business Day, beyond reach, say banks in Rand cartel case. And the front page of the Citizen, clouds over SETA jobs. Those are
the newspapers.
Thank you.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
I'm Nathan Ilunga. I'm Congolese, and one thing I love about 702 is the open line on Clement Manachela show and the Healing Hour. Overall, what I like most about the station is the different topic they cover. They broaden your mind and push you to think. They help you to become a critical thinker. So that's why I listen to 702.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
so we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
A good bookshop feels like stepping into another world. Shelves of adventures, knowledge, stories waiting to be discovered. You can see how excited I am. So whether you're searching for a gift, a rare find, or your next weekend read, they're there to guide you. Your bookshop is a treasure in the community. And now's your chance to say, I see you. Vote for them as Gauteng's greatest bookshop at primemediaplus.com. Voting closes 27 August. Make it count, because Gauteng isn't just the hub of business, it's the home of excellence. And excellence deserves your applause. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko.
There's power in a single partner who helps you build a better employee benefits strategy. Begin with retirement, the foundation of securing your employee's future. Now layer in everyday health, mental wellness, and financial balance. And finally, essential protection for life's curveballs, from illness to income loss. Now that sounds like a complete benefit strategy, one that protects your people and powers your business. Talk to us at employeebenefits@oldmutual.com about Old Mutual Corporate's integrated employee benefits solutions. Old Mutual Corporate is a division of Old Mutual Life Assurance Company SA Limited, a licensed FSP and life insurer. T's and C's apply.
Life is full of moments. Some are small.
Surprise, I got you a matcha latte.
Some are big.
Surprise, we're having twins.
For all those moments, there's the new Haval H6 SUV with a spacious interior and voice command. It's built for big moments. Get it from only $6,699 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM. Go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank and authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
EWN Business.
Catch up with business news now. Mutel, you're asking us about introducing something to someone and they absolutely love it and they can't even remember
that you
where they heard it from. So I've been hunting on about Checker 6060, which I do love, but I've been trying Uber Eats for grocery packages, right? So because they get things, then it's not just. I always thought it was just fast food
from different stores,
and now someone whose name I shall not mention is telling me about Uber Eats. No, let's get it on Uber Eats. Oh, let's get. And I'm like,
but that's why you introduced it to them, no?
What prompts the question?
Well, Bongani, tea consumption is a cultural practice in Japan, making it one of the most sought-after markets for the hot beverage. Well, South Africa now has the nation hooked on its rooibos tea. According to Fin24, rooibos exports to Japan have tripled in the last decade. The South African Rooibos Council says rooibos exports to the land of the rising sun have gone up from just 1,000 tons in 2015 to over 2,900 tons in 2024. Now, to put that into perspective, South Africans consume around 4,500 to 5,000 tons of the tea annually, with the rest exported to about 45 countries around the world. Japan now leads that market with a 30% share of rooibos exports. Germany has about 17%. Netherlands has about 10% of that market, with France, the UK, and the US wrapping up the top 5 markets now. So how do the Japanese enjoy rooibos tea? No milk, no sugar, no added sweetener.
Yes.
Just a brew.
That's exactly how you should have it.
I know people put milk in rooibos, but a sukolap.
Sacrilege. Sacrilege. Blasphemy. Off with their heads.
The Department of Trade and Competition has convinced China to also drop tariffs of rooibos from about 10% to 6%. So that's become another attractive market for the country. What's also interesting is that back here at home, more South Africans are enjoying matcha. And of course, matcha is from Asia. Matcha is a powdered form of organic green tea that has its roots in ancient China. It flourished in Japan, though, during the 12th century, thanks to Buddhist monks discovering its potential to aid meditation. It's now a very, very popular date in South Africa. People go for matcha dates these days.
So if you ever make yourself a mint chocolate dessert with a mint ice cream inside and a chocolate covering, it's lovely to spread a little bit of matcha tea.
Not moringa.
Dust. A bit of matcha tea dust.
The rand at 17 Rand 70 against the US dollar, weaker this morning, 20 Rand 61 cents against the euro, and at 23 Rand 80 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $3,340 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,335. Brent crude at $67.04 a barrel. More business after 7.
Time now for the latest eyewitness news. Straight to Sfiso Zulu we go. What you got at this hour, Sfiso?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Residents in parts of Sandton are warned to brace themselves for yet another day of interrupted water supply. Joburg Water says it's conducting maintenance work on a damaged pipeline. This has impacted the Illovo Reservoir and Tower, which supplies parts of Sandown, Morningside, Banmore and other nearby areas. Joburg Water spokesperson Nombuso Shabalala.
Water supply remains slightly opened while the teams continue with the repair work. The line will be fully recharged once the repairs have been completed. There is currently no estimated time for restoration. Johannesburg Water will, however, provide regular updates to customers on this issue.
Meanwhile, in the power front, Kanana, Freedom Park and Alexandra will remain without electricity, while technicians from City Power conduct checks to ensure that 80% of households are up to date with their bills. Last week, the power utility announced their new policy to ensure that they get residents to buy electricity from legitimate vendors. City Power spokesperson Isaac Mangena says this is also to reduce the high number of illegal connections.
It would not only be unlawful and unsafe for City Power to reinstate supply under abnormal conditions, it would also be highly reckless. City Power is obliged to basically act in terms of the electricity supply bylaws of the City of Johannesburg, which are clear on unlawful behavior, and also the duties of us as City Power in terms of dealing with those unlawful behaviors.
In the Western Cape, residents of Guyasa in Khayelitsha are hoping that the alleged killers of a 7-year-old girl could spend the rest of their lives behind prison walls. Lolita Goa was killed last month. Her body was found at a dump site. Odwa Jack and Nogutula Macheseni have been charged with the child's murder. Lolita was last seen playing with Macheni's daughter at the couple's home before the little girl was reported missing. Jack and Macheseni have abandoned their bail after failing to secure an alternative residential address. Community worker Miki Linda says Lolita's murder has caused a lot of anxiety in the community.
Our children are staying indoors. They are always watching TV. We are scared them to go outside. That is why now we are thinking we mothers, we must go straight to the government to give us another structure that can be a place that every child, when he's from school, he can go there.
And Brazilian police have called for former President Jair Bolsonaro and his son Eduardo to be charged with obstruction of justice for attempting to interfere with the ex-leader's trial over plotting an attempted coup. The police also revealed that Bolsonaro, who faces 40 years in prison if convicted of plotting in 2022 to overthrow his democratically elected successor, had plans to seek asylum in Argentina last year. Brazil's Supreme Court will start deciding next month on the coup attempt charges against Bolsonaro, who led the country from 2019 to 2022. A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures are at lows of 10 and 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 27 and 28.
And in the traffic in Benoni, we've got a major accident seen along the N12 west. It happened near Atlas Road. Delays coming out of Snake Road. There's another accident that happened on the N17 west. It happened just after Heidelberg Road. It's causing delays.
The top story this hour, residents in parts of Sandton are being warned to brace themselves for yet another day of interrupted water supply.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Your vote is not just a click. It's a thank you, a nod, a way of saying we see you. Vote for your favorite local business now on primemediaplus.com.
The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star, is back. With just one ticket, you can experience unforgettable music, mouth-watering food, bold fashion, vibrant art. It's happening Saturday 20 and Sunday 21 September. You can come celebrate with friends and bring the family for a picnic on Sunday. So this year, DSTV celebrates 30 years with international headliners, South Africa's hottest talent, and a feast that's as big as the vibe. It's Africa's biggest music and food festival. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, supported by 702. More on deliciousfestival.com.
Naked people have happier marriages. They're present. They listen. They even remember anniversaries. And that's because naked people get car and home insurance online in seconds, which means less time wasted on insurance admin and more time for date nights or couples therapy. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked, people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
Joburg gets ready to paint the town purple. The Hollywood Bets 10-kilometer race is back. Bigger, bolder, and bursting with energy. Whether you're running for fun or just love the vibe, this is your race. Join thousands as we take over the streets in true purple style. Tickets are available now on web tickets, so make sure you grab your spots at the starting line. And listen up, KZN is 100% sold out. Joburg, it's your turn to shine. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0170.
702. WhatsApp Bongani on 072 702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani. The people who are digging themselves into a deeper hole are those who are voting for the ANC and those who believe Ramaphosa, even still today, who think that he will be their savior. The ANC is also digging itself into a bigger hole by trusting a man who would put them down by 17%. With a question that he asked, and people still believe him, you are digging yourself into a bigger hole. People are more poor now than they were when that one of the numbers, Jacob Zuma, was still a president. Jesus has come back very early for the ANC. Cindy.
Bongani, a person who has dug herself an even deeper hole is an IDT CEO, Tebogo Malaka, who went out on interviews on ENCA trying to prove herself innocent against Peter Mayberg, and she ends up lying, and Peter Mayberg brought even more evidence to bury her even deeper. I mean, the lady's already in trouble. She goes out on interviews trying to prove herself innocent, yet she knows that she lied. I mean, she's guilty. Then Peter Mayberg buried her even deeper. That's Tebogo Malaka. Moses here.
Moses, yeah, indeed. We spoke about the IDT story quite some time ago, and yes, you're right. I think she keeps digging herself deeper into that hole. Do you remember the former higher education minister who kept digging herself into a hole after she lied about the process of appointing SETA board members, and then she said she was being attacked because she was a competent young black woman? Well, I mean, we're going to have to hear what her successor, Minister Buti Manamela's explanation is of hiring some really, really questionable people and appointing them for SETA positions, including one Opa Ngwane, who used to be the acting municipal manager of the Mfuleni local municipality. He was among 12 people implicated in a condemning 2017-2018 forensic report, which revealed the loss of almost R1 billion in unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure. So what they would do is they would pay service providers outside of the regulations of the Municipal Finance Management Act. One security company was paid 93 million, and their contract was extended without the regulations. One service provider won 17 million rand without a contract. Another one, They terminated a contract after they paid a service provider 38 million rand. So what they do is they pay Anthony Teixeira money. Somebody raises a question and they go, oh yeah, no, we weren't supposed to actually do that. But he's already gone with the 38 million rand. It's as as if they had set it up for exactly that purpose. So as that voice note says, if we the voters keep voting for these people, aren't we digging ourselves deeper into the hole?
EWN Sport.
Talking of holes, Anthony Teixeira, you know what this means? It means my skipper is on its way.
You think?
My jersey is on its way.
Yeah, because you're going to go buy one today.
No, they're still going to send me. They've just all agreed. They just haven't told me
Oh,
yet.
internally.
Yes, internally they made a decision. Shame, man. Let's send him one. And once they took that decision, guess what happened last night?
Yeah, well, congratulations to you and Orlando Pirates as they finally registered the first points of the Betway Premiership season at the third time of asking. Kamogelo Sebele Bele's 15-minute thunder strike was the difference maker as Pirates brushed aside Stellenbosch 1-0. Here's coach Abduslam Wadu.
Very happy about the result. Of course, we were expecting that moment since 2-3 weeks. We started exactly how we wanted to play. Very high block, prevent Stellenbosch from building, to push them to play long balls and to put them a high pressure.
See, Pirates have dug themselves out of the hole.
They have indeed.
They found a hole in the goal.
Do you think they can do it again at the weekend?
It depends on how fast my t-shirt can get.
Well, for Stellies, they're now one of the 4 sides who are yet to record a win after 3 match days of the league. Mamelodi Sundowns are unbeaten and are third on the log. Second half goals from Jaden Adams and Peter Shalugile handed the Brazilians a 2-0 win over 10-man Magezi. We saw Lehlongonolo Machali receiving a second yellow and getting his marching orders late on, while Amazulu won 1-0, crashing down Marimo Galant's winning start to the league. Seeking to find answers to last week's shock loss to the Wallabies, the Springboks are making necessary corrections. It's seen them drafting Andre Pollard, who starts at 10 with Sasha Feinberg and Ngomazulu on the bench. SFM says he's tried to explain the role in the 6-2 bench.
The difference with having the big dogs like Andre Pollard here, there's a ladder that you have to climb, and I think just learning from guys like him whilst juggling the active 12 and 15, I think it only grows my game. To put on a Bok jersey is special every time, so whether it's a 23, a 22, a 12 or 15 or a 10 on my back, 6 on my back, whatever can help the team and help me get a cap for the Springboks.
Switching to cricket now, where the Proteas' Prenelin Subrayen has been reported for his bowling action against Australia. On debut, the off-spinner picked up the wicket of Travis Head in South Africa's 98-run victory. He'll now need to undergo an independent assessment by an ICC-accredited testing facility, with the pair meeting once again Friday morning. And in athletics, at a rain-soaked Lausanne Diamond Meets, we saw Oblique Seville stunning the 100 metres men's as he ran a sub-10-second time. South Africa's Akani Simbine finished 4th there. Prudence Godise was 6th in the women's 800 metres, and silver Olympic medalist Johanne Duplessis finished 2nd in the women's javelin throw. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
Life's full of moments that need the right support, whether it's a dream vacation, everyday expenses, or surprise costs. So give yourself some credit with a Visa F&B credit card, a life resource that gives you e-bucks, travel perks, interest-free periods, and more. Apply for a Visa F&B credit card online or visit your nearest branch today. Help changes everything. T's, C's, and earn rules apply. Credit is subject to meeting the qualifying criteria. F&B is a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Do you know what's hiding behind colorful packaging of unhealthy food? Big food companies target children with unhealthy packaged foods that hide high levels of sugar, salt, and fat, which could lead to heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. But the truth is hidden from consumers. Front of package warning labels are a proven solution to help consumers make informed decisions. The government must act now. We have the right to know what's in our food. Demand front of package warning labels. Sign the petition on heala.org, HEALA.org, by 30 September.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for real estate agencies, law firms, computer services, and more. Yakolin?
We saved a lot of money when we switched over from another insurance company to Business Outsurance. We've had some claims and they were friendly and efficient and paid out when they promised.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz
on 702.
Hi, Uncle Bongani Bingwa. My name is Alizwa Mangilan. I am a grade 7 learner at Richville Primary School. I would like to be an accountant when I grow up and finish my studies. Thank you.
Let's count to 10 and see if we can get 10,000 Rand. Alizwa.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
13 to 7, this Eyewitness News is brought to you by Amogelang Ramela. Tell us about those delays in Benoni, Amo.
Well, it's an accident along the N12 West. It's right near Atlas Road. Delays coming out of Snake Road. About a 20-minute hold up there. In fact, bumper-to-bumper traffic. So please be on the lookout. Try to avoid if you can, because Atlas Road in itself is backed up towards the highway as a result of the scene. We've got heavier traffic volumes on the N17 if you're thinking of using this as an alternative. They are between Atlas Road and Heidelberg Road. This is due to an earlier accident, as well as roadworks taking place along this route, so please be patient on the roads this morning. We'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
When selling a car, there's nothing worse than a long, frustrating process. We Buy Cars knows life's short and time is precious. So sell your car within a day from wherever you find it convenient. Simply complete the online form and We Buy Cars will make it happen. Need a new ride? Explore thousands of vehicles online or in-store. We Buy Cars, South Africa's trusted vehicle partner.
We plan for vacations, retirement, and even tonight's dinner. But do we plan for our health? It's how we protect our family's future. So who are you staying healthy for? And how can you protect their future? Choose Dis-Chem Life, the life cover that helps you live a healthier, more rewarding life with health checks and extra rewards. Visit dischemlife.co.za now. Dis-Chem Life. Choose a better partner for life. Dis-Chem Life is an authorized FSP 50594, underwritten by Guardrisk Life, a licensed life insurer, FSP 76. T's and C's apply.
The team's on a roll today. Let me focus on payroll. Duty calls in the kitchen. That's why I have a business insurer that is agile and on the ball all the time on all things. I chose My Way Business Insurance, getting 24/7 emergency service and saving on my premiums, plus my business assist to handle my admin.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Bongani, 702 Landers. Response to Mateo's question, very similar to yours. A former romantic partner, yes. Now you've taught him how to drink his wines properly and do some of his meals. Then you run into him showing off all the things you taught him as if, like, oh my Lord. break my heart, then take my jokes as well. Oh, yeah, he also then repeats the jokes you said as if they're his, and he says them wrong. So one time I corrected him. Felt so good. Anyway, comes from where? Bye.
Wait till he calls in and sends his own voice note. Now, wouldn't that be funny?
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 7.
Give away some cash, 10,000 Rand. I need 10 correct answers in 60 seconds. Otherwise, it's $100 for each correct answer. And of course, up next, we also speak to Daniel Steyn from Groundup. Today's contestant is Alizwa, 12 years old, goes to Ridgevale Primary School and wants to be an accountant. 1, 2, 3. Alizwa, are you ready?
Yes.
KG, start the clock. Spell the word heavily.
Heavily.
Correct. True or false? The chemical symbol for uranium is U.
True.
Correct. How many continents are there in the world?
9.
7. Which word means disagreement? Discord or disdain?
Disagreement.
Which word means disagreement? Is it discord or disdain?
Disdain.
Discord. In computers, what does the abbreviation AI stand for?
Artificial intelligence.
Correct. Which group of warm-blooded animals has hair and gives milk to their young?
Pass.
Mammals. What's the name of the river that runs through Egypt?
Nile River.
Correct. What shape is a rugby ball?
An oval.
Correct. What's the name of the wizarding school in Harry Potter?
Pass.
Hogwarts is the answer we were looking for, but didn't have enough time. A mixed round for you there, Alizwa. You got some really, really tricky ones right, and perhaps not others. You walk away with 400 Rand. 400 Rand is what you walk away with. Join us again for the Whiz Quiz.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
All right, I think that's 500 Rand. I think we got that calculation incorrect. Alizwa walks away with 500 Rand. Amo, you are the third umpire.
And I'm saying
500 Rand.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. 500 Rand, Alizwa. Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? Brought to you by Outsurance. Up to 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. All you need to do is send us an answer based on something that piqued your interest in the show, and for that you win 1,000 Rand. Simply WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. Then later someone else will ask a question to win 2,000 Rand. Now you always stand a better chance of being selected if you've SMS'd out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So do it now. SMS out to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
7 to 7, there's no understating the importance of the work of investigative journalists in South Africa. Groundup does exactly that. They're a non-profit news agency and they tell community-driven stories, and they rely solely on donations to deliver their in-depth journalism. They don't have ads, they don't have paywalls, and so if you want to support their critical work or read their stories, go to groundup.org.za for details. Daniel Steyn joins us again to highlight some of the work they've been doing. Daniel, always a pleasure to have you on the show. A big story, of course, for Groundup over some time now has been a focus on the National Lotteries Commission. And now we're hearing a former board member ordered to pay back 21 million Rand.
Good morning, Bongani. Good to be with you. Yeah, so the Special Tribunal, which is it's basically a special court that hears applications by the Special Investigations Unit, has now ruled in favor of the SIU that basically William Huma, who used to be a NLC board member, that he redirected 21 million Rand that was meant to go for good causes, rural development in villages, including empowerment of women and children, that money ultimately went to a farm owned by his niece and was used to install buildings and chicken farming equipment, but that farm ultimately failed.
Goodness me. So not only do they misdirect funds for good causes, they couldn't even really do the job they thought they could to enrich themselves.
Yeah, it's quite ironic. And Huma is also linked to several other grant funds that have been siphoned off from the lottery, including several properties that he bought. There's a property in Rustenburg which was then converted into a boutique hotel, a farm in the northwest, and a property in Waterkloof. All that was bought by funds siphoned off from NLC grant money by Huma.
Gosh. All right, let's talk about child miners risking their lives in Zambia's copper pits.
Yeah, so this is basically the equivalent of what we have in South Africa, the Zama industry, except what we have here is that basically small young children, as young as 14, are being recruited through quite extensive human trafficking networks, and it seems with complete impunity from the government. The government officials we spoke to, for example, kind of acknowledge that it's illegal, but at least the politicians we spoke to say that it's illegal, but they can't regulate it. It's up to the private companies who own the mines to regulate these kind of things. That said, there are some human trafficking. There's a Department of Anti-Human Trafficking that's been set up in the government to try and rescue underage children. Recently in July, in the last week of July, 34 underage children were rescued from one of these open mines where young children are being recruited to work in. And we spoke to, I'd really recommend readers to go and read the full story, which is on our website. We spoke to several family members of children who had died, who were buried under the rubble in these mines.
Oh my goodness. That sounds like a shocking story. Now, we've often spoken on the show to Rosemary Nalden from Busk Aid. This is in Soweto, that music school in Diepkloof. And you're now saying there's a possibility they might have to close down.
Yeah, so Busk Aid has for 28 years been doing music education, teaching young kids from Soweto how to play violin, viola, cello, double bass. They run a string ensemble which has performed internationally and does really amazing work. They've currently got 80 kids, but a waiting list of about 70 children who want to join the program, and they want to expand. But unfortunately, their private donations have dried up. They haven't gotten any government funding since 2022, and with all the pressure on international aid caused by cuts in US aid and etc., they're really struggling to get philanthropic donations. So now Rosemary Nalden, who founded the organization, says that come February 2026, they might have to close their doors.
Oh, gosh. And just last week, we were talking about the ballooning cost of the Lesotho Highlands Water Project. You've got some details as to why that might be, Daniel.
Sorry, Bongani, I don't have that story in front of me.
Oh, you don't have that story in front of you. All right. Well, I'm sure it is on Groundup, though. So if people want to go and read it, they can go to your website and go to groundup.org.za for more details on all those stories. Daniel Steyn, Groundup journalist.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
The big interview focuses on the week of the anniversary of the murder of Babita Deokaran. What has been done about the concerns that she raised? And what about other whistleblowers? Did she give up her life in vain? I'm pleased to tell you that Rakesh Deokaran, who is the brother of the whistleblower Babita, will be joining us after 7 o'clock. We'll also speak to Deokaran, who is, he's got two roles, right? He's the chairperson of Public Interest South Africa, but what he's also doing is he has convened an award, a prize-giving event, if you will. They're calling it the 2025 Whistleblower Awards, and there's going to be a summit, and he'll explain all of that. Right now, though, it is 7 o'clock.
This is EWN.
New people are expected to be hired to the SA Tourism Board, and the ANC in the Western Cape is facing an uphill battle. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Tourism Minister Patricia de Lille is expected to initiate the process of appointing a new board at SA Tourism after dissolving the current one. De Lille announced the sacking of the board yesterday with immediate effect. The Tourism Ministry says the decision was prompted by the board of SA Tourism convening an unlawful meeting and taking what she deems as irregular resolutions. Khomotso Modise reports.
On the 1st of August this year, the SA Tourism Board convened a special meeting, but that meeting has landed the members in hot water, resulting in the dissolution of the board. Tourism Minister Patricia de Lille has taken issue with the meeting because the board chair, Gregory Davids, had resigned the day before. The ministry says de Lille had previously cautioned the board against the failure to follow governance procedures, which undermines the board's integrity. De Lille will soon invite nominations of eligible persons, and a person or a group will be appointed in the interim to manage the affairs of the board. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News.
A list of regulations to guide the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry has been published as it prepares to probe corruption and political interference within the police service. The regulations were signed off by President Cyril Ramaphosa on Monday and gazetted yesterday. Essentially, they'll provide clarity on elements including self-incriminating evidence and powers to conduct search and seizures while gathering evidence. Oren Singh takes a look.
Any witness testifying before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry who may self-incriminate cannot be later pursued by the Commission or any other court on charges related to their testimony and possibly self-incrimination. This is set out in a list of regulations by President Cyril Ramaphosa in relation to the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into criminality, political interference and corruption in the criminal justice system, set to begin next month in Pretoria. The regulations further stipulate that should a witness provide false testimony or refuse to cooperate with the Commission, they can be criminally charged. The Commission also possesses the powers to conduct search and seizures to obtain any evidence for purposes of the inquiry. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
Plans by the ANC National Executive to reconfigure its Western Cape leadership could further weaken its status in its worst performing province, with disgruntled local leaders set to be looking for greener pastures. The party has already lost 2 ward councillors to the Patriotic Alliance in recent weeks, and yesterday battled it out in by-elections in Knysna and the Hung Council of Matsikama. EWN has reliably learnt that members of the ANC's provincial leadership are being wooed by both the DA and Patriotic Alliance as looming reconfiguration upsets local leaders. Lindsay Dentlinker has more.
The so-called Rural for Change bloc emerged victorious at the ANC's Western Cape Provincial Conference in 2023 after 4 years of being under administration by an interim leadership. But 2 weeks ago, Secretary-General Fikile Mbalula announced another shake-up, that the Western Cape would follow the same route as KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng with the reconfiguration of its leadership. EWN understands that since that announcement, some senior ANC leaders have become prey for other political parties, particularly Patriotic Alliance leader Gayton McKenzie, who is said to be making a strong play for them to defect. ANC national spokesperson Mahlengi Bengu says no decision has yet been taken on how or when the reconfiguration process will unfold.
There will be a reconfiguration and may very well be anything from effecting changes in the leadership structure. That's one of the options that are currently on the table.
She says national leaders will return to the province soon to explain the findings of its working committee and the way forward. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
And civil society leaders say South Africans are growing impatient as some promises of development go unanswered. More than 2,000 organizations from across the world have come together to hold governments accountable as part of talks at the G20. The group tabled its initial policy draft brief in Pretoria yesterday, and its chairperson Thulani Tsefuta says while policy discussions at platforms such as the National Dialogue and the G20 are important, a lack of implementation is frustrating citizens.
The impatience of the people with the national dialogue must be interpreted to mean they are making a clarion call for the talk of the national dialogue to be linked to action. Talk without action is what is frustrating people. So the conversations of the national dialogue must never be complete until there are clearly defined actions of what will be done to fulfill the very spirit of what we may have identified as the pressing challenges.
Gold is trading at $3,344.53 an ounce. The rand is at 17.70 to the dollar, 23.81 to the pound, 20.62 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.13 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got two major accident scenes. One in Benoni along the N12 West, right near Atlas Road, causing heavy delays. And another one on the N17 West, right near Osborne Road, also causing heavy delays.
And in your sport, Pizza Chalet led Nets and Sundowns win to equal PSL goal-scoring record. Coco Gauff drops coach just days before the US Open. And YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul set to face WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg is at a low of 11 degrees, peaking at 28. Pretoria 10 and 28 as well. Vereniging 11 and a high of 27 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Tourism Minister Patricia de Lille is expected to initiate the process of appointing a new board at SA Tourism after dissolving the current one.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Show up for the finalist who showed up for you. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Vote for your favorite local business now on primediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're keeping an eye also, of course, on developing stories internationally. I told you a little earlier on that there are now moves to call up 60,000 reservists in Israel as a more than certain Gaza offensive is about to unfold, it would appear. But what's been interesting is to observe a war of words between the Israeli Prime Minister and his Australian counterpart. Essentially, Benjamin Netanyahu has called Anthony Albanese a weak leader. He has said that he has abandoned the Jewish community in Australia, and he's described it as a betrayal of Israel. Have a listen.
Well, I treat leaders of other countries with respect. I engage with them in a diplomatic way. October 7, the Parliament condemned unequivocally the actions of Hamas as a terrorist organisation. We then went on to say that Israel had a right to defend itself. How it defended itself mattered, and it needed to do that within international law, and that there needed to be respect for innocent lives. Do I think too many innocent lives have been lost? Yes, I do. What's important is that the international community thinks that as well overwhelmingly, and also that is what Australians see. Australians look at their TV coverage in spite of the fact that there's limited media presence in Gaza. They look at what's happening there. They look at the increased settler violence in the West Bank. They look at the decision that Israel has made in March to restrict the access of aid, food and water that people in Gaza needed, and they look at that and they think that something needs to change. The cycle of violence needs to change. Australia's a part of a global community.
That's Anthony Albanese responding, of course, to the remarks made by the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who called him a weak leader. I want you to also listen to the Home Affairs Minister from Australia, Tony Burke, defending his Prime Minister in a really short and sharp response that I think says it all.
You said strength is not measured by how many people you can blow up or how many children you can leave hungry.
That's it, right? Strength is not measured by how many people you can blow up or how many children you can leave hungry. Tony Burke, the Home Affairs Minister from Australia.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 after 7, things you need to know at this hour. Listen to this. It's all heating up in KZN. So Soweto in that province has responded to the Provincial Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who says he needs more boots on the grounds. He says, look, the population of KZN is growing and we don't have the numbers of police officers to keep up with that growth. What's the stumbling block? According to Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, it is the unions. He's saying the unions are demanding too much pay for officers, and so they can't hire anymore because they don't have enough money to pay them at the rates the unions are demanding. But he also made this as a general comment about unemployment in South Africa, and he says the unions are the problem. Well, of course, COSATU, as you might imagine, has taken exception to that comment, and they say, well, Mkhwanazi himself is a member of a union, and he might want to look at the salary he gets every month and how he got it via that union representation. I thought that was an interesting tit for tat, butter for fat, as they say. Let's go national now. The National Police Commissioner General Fani Masimula today will oversee the destruction of about 400 million rands worth of drugs in the province. And we spoke about somebody who keeps digging themselves deeper in the hole they are already in. The Gauteng High Court in Pretoria ruling that the social media statements made by Anele Mda, she calls herself an activist, politician sometimes, about the Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula. The Gauteng High Court says these were false and defamatory. You remember, of course, Mda tried to link Mbalula to the murder of Northwest businessman Wandile Bozwana in 2015. In her own papers, Mda couldn't say for sure she knew what she was tweeting about was true, but said it was out in the public domain. The court took a dim view of that and have ordered her to retract those offending posts within 24 hours with an unconditional retraction and apology. And this also came with a costs order. Guess what Mda is saying? She's going to apply for leave to appeal. She's digging herself deeper into that hole, I would say. 21st August 1938. Whose birthday might that be? Kenny Rogers, that unmistakable raspy voice, one of country's music's biggest stars. Listen to this.
I'm your knight in shining armor, and I love you. You have made me what I am, and I am yours. My love, there's so many ways I want to say I love you.
Oh man, hits like The Gambler, Lucille, Through the Years, not forgetting Islands in the Stream with Dolly Parton, and this song, which I think is his best, Lady, from the pen of Lionel Richie. He passed away in March 2020, born on this day, but he had one of those voices that just could tell a story. Happy birthday, even posthumously. Great Mr. Kenny Rogers.
702. Up next.
The big interview.
EWN Traffic.
13 after 7, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Wouldn't it be fun to go? To go see some of these sites in Mpumalanga?
Absolutely fun. It was
Amo?
very fun.
Hey? Just putting it out there. What you got?
Well, in North Riding, we've got a major accident scene along Witkoppen Road right at Northumberland Avenue. It's causing heavy delays. So if you're heading towards the Randbeck area, do expect delays heading towards that area due to that scene. It's causing about a 20-minute hold up on both routes. Traveling in Benoni, another accident scene on the N12 West. It's right near Atlas Road. Delays as you come out of Snake Road, about a 30-minute hold up there. Please be on the lookout. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Amo, imagine you and your family exploring the wonders of Mpumalanga, discovering the ultimate wildlife experience, bringing you closer to nature, getting an adrenaline rush with endless adventure activities, 4x4 routes, hiking the Blyde River Canyon, the third largest in the world, unwinding with spectacular landscapes, majestic waterfalls. Hey, you and your family, making Mpumalanga your destination of choice, embracing the unknown, living the adventure. A message brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Visit mpumalanga.com for more information.
Dreaming of a tropical escape? World Leisure Holidays has your ticket to paradise with exclusive getaways to the Indian Ocean Islands. From the beaches of Mauritius and the Maldives to the charm of Madagascar, Seychelles, Zanzibar and more, your dream destination awaits. Take advantage of early bird specials and pay stay offers. Call 011-285-2500 and mention 702 for a mystery discount. Or follow us on social media or contact your nearest travel professional. Start planning your escape today. T's and C's apply.
Vroom vroom, rev your engines. The Festival of Motoring, powered by Westbank, is back at the legendary Kailami Grand Prix circuit from the 29th to the 31st of August. Buckle up because this is South Africa's biggest motoring celebration. Feel the rush with supercar hot laps, drifting 4x4 adventures, track drives and jaw-dropping Formula One demos. Fun for everyone with tasty bites, live entertainment, a front row look at the world's top car brands. Get in on the action. Grab your tickets at howler.co.za now and use the promo code RADIO for a special discount. That's promo code RADIO. The Festival of Motoring, where passion meets performance and the spirit of Ubuntu on wheels comes alive in partnership with 702.
10 years ago, Illuma Capital set out with one goal: to help people like you build a legacy for tomorrow. Through personalized strategies and unwavering dedication, we've been instrumental in helping our clients achieve their financial dreams, whether it's securing retirement, growing wealth, or planning for the unexpected. For a decade, we've been trusted to guide your financial journey with expertise and care. Visit illuma.co.za today. Illuma Capital is a licensed FSP. T's and C's apply.
At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 In Brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
The 12th edition of the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lottostar, is here. Experience unbeatable vibes this heritage weekend at the Kailami Grand Prix circuit on the 20th and 21st of September. On Saturday the 20th, you can catch Don Toliver, Cuesta, Inkabi Zezwe and more. And Sunday the 21st, the iconic Lauryn Hill with special guests Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Zion Marley, there's Lira, there's Mandi Sityankis, there's Zoe Mudiga also performing on the Sunday. Tickets at Ticketmaster. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lottostar, proudly supported by 702.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
18 after 7, 4 years almost to that fateful day when Babita Deokaran, a fearless whistleblower, was silenced in a hit-style assassination outside her South Johannesburg home. She was a mom of two. In fact, had just dropped off her daughter at school, unaware that it would be her last act. It was a murder that sent shockwaves across the nation, exposing the dark underbelly of corruption that threatens to consume our society. But the question that must be asked, was her sacrifice in vain? What actions have been taken about the very issues she was trying to raise before she was taken away so early in her life? Her brother, Rakesh Deokaran, has agreed to speak to us and joins us now on the line. Rakesh, it is an unfortunate time for us to be speaking, but of course, we can never forget what your sister did to sacrifice her life for our country. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you, Bongani, and your listeners.
How are you as a family, and how are the kids?
Just to rectify, she was a mother of one, a single mother of one.
I beg your pardon. I always thought she had two kids. I beg your pardon. My mistake.
How,
yeah. How is her child?
No, she's good. She's okay. She's fine.
And you as a family?
We'll never be okay. Because, if you go back to 2021, and you will see, if you go into your archives, it will tell you, it was a security guard that you mentioned. When she walks into that building, he's the first person she greets. And that's the caliber of person she was.
Sure.
Us as a family, we'll never get over it. We would never.
I can't imagine any family does. Rakesh, we're looking back, of course, nearly 4 years later. Was her sacrifice in vain? How much has been done about the things that she was raising? How do you as a family feel?
It will never be in vain. She lived for something that transpired now. Everything is coming now to the fore. And it's difficult for us. It is honestly and truly difficult. We're not going to lie and tell people we're okay with it. We're not.
Have you been informed about the investigations that resulted from her death? Are you as a family being kept up to speed about what has happened since?
We have never. Because remember the 6 guys that got convicted to date. Remember, they were just the hitmen. And a hitman does not hire themselves. All we want is for the mastermind or masterminds to come back. Okay, it's not up to us at the end of the day. It's up to the SIU, it's up to the Hawks, it's up to the president of this country. Come, she put something on the table and no one investigated nothing. Everyone just thought, okay, 6 people, they did it, they done and dusted. No. We don't believe in that. And that's the honest truth.
Yeah. And just to be clear, when I say was her sacrifice in vain, it really is because it must surely sting, as you say, that it was only really the trigger men who were held accountable. We don't know what has happened to the masterminds, but more importantly, you as a family, you say you haven't been given the details. And so it's easy for politicians to almost claim the glory of something like this, when in fact the very issues she was raising about corruption haven't been attended to. The people she tried to warn about this corruption, who did nothing at the time, haven't been held accountable.
They never took accountability. I'm not going to mention names. If you look at the media will show you there was a trail. And all you have to do is chase the money. That's all.
Are you encouraged by investigations into people like Vusi Kat Matlala?
Once again, I will not speculate, but the name came up in 2021. It's now 2025. So was the trail not followed?
Are we continuing to fail your sister?
Exactly. She started the process. She put it on paper. She did. But nobody followed the trail. So hence I say, it's up to the SIU, it's up to the Hawks, whoever was touching. What she gave it to them in their hand, but they never followed the trail.
Rakesh, our thoughts are with you, your family, your niece, and we are even speaking to you to try and raise awareness about the issues, because it cannot be that your sister's sacrifice was in vain. I appreciate you talking to us.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
Listening to that, of course, is the chairperson of Public Interest SA, but also the convener of the 2025 Whistleblower Awards and Summit. Deokaran, we've spoken to you many a time before, no stranger to this show. Firstly, you heard what Rakesh Deokaran had to say there. Perhaps a broad response, a general response to what he has said and how whistleblowers and their families are treated in this kind of scenario?
You know, Bongani, Babita's case is a tragic reminder that whistleblowers are left to fend for themselves, as you can hear from Rakesh's comments. And despite alerting authorities about corruption itself, she was not given protection, and she was brutally assassinated. What makes it even more jarring is that at the time, you'd recall the Premier of Gauteng, then it was David Makura, and some of the senior officials actually did not want to accept her act of whistleblowing as that of a whistleblower. In fact, they rubbished any claims that she was a whistleblower. But her death really just shows that failing to act on whistleblowers' warnings costs not only money but human lives. So much money has been lost through the Department of Health in Gauteng. We know what the investigation that Jeff Weeks and others have done on the matter, and the amount of money that has been squandered and the lives that have been put in peril, and the list keeps on going.
I mean, the lack of political will is one thing. The cynic in me almost wonders if it's deliberate to look the other way, if it's deliberate to not protect whistleblowers, if it's deliberate to have legislation like the Protected Disclosures Act, when in fact we know meaningfully it doesn't translate to the protection of these people who raise the alarm.
You hit the nail on the head, Bongani. The gaps lie in enforcement, and particularly the scope of the existing legislation, that is the PDA. This act does not compel state agencies to proactively protect whistleblowers, but we are heartened to see that bodies like the National Anti-Corruption Advisory Council has now proposed the establishment of a dedicated Office of Public Integrity, which will, amongst other things, hopefully be able to provide victim support and other support to whistleblowers. But it is enforcement and follow through. I mean, you've heard, Rakesh, what you are saying, that since 2021, names have been dropped, names have been known. 4 years later, we're still sitting here. The masterminds are out there.
And just the common human decency, hey, of going back to the family and saying, this is how far we are, this is where we think we might go, even if you don't give them specific details, because of course investigations are still ongoing, but just the decency of sitting down with the family and saying, we're with you, we see you.
What happened to Ubuntu? What happened to Batupili? Here's somebody who paid the ultimate price to try and save the fiscus. If you just narrow it to the Department of Health, we know all the problems that are afflicting the health services in Gauteng. All the hospitals running, some of them running out of medication equipment and overworked staff. And yet no action is being taken to ensure that even those who do right by the state, those who do right by us, are actually supported, kept informed, and made sure that there's follow through in terms of the work that investigative journalists have done. And that is an abomination.
I wonder if it's deliberate. Babita Deokaran, appreciate your time. Chairperson of Public Interest, South Africa.
EWN Business.
28 after 7, this business report proudly sponsored by GIC. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC sets a better standard of living. GIC changing lives. With consumer prices rising in July, beef is a main culprit, and of course municipal rates that time of the year.
Yeah, Bongani, local inflation went up to 3.5% in July of 2025, the second consecutive monthly increase and the highest rate in 10 months. Consumer prices rose to 3.5% from a year earlier, compared to 3% in the prior month. The main contributors to the annual inflation rate were food and non-alcoholic beverages and housing and utility rates. The foot and mouth outbreak in the country has driven up beef prices, red meat jumping 28% over the past year. Beef stew rose around from 94 Rand to about 123 Rand per kilo. The housing and utilities segment is also another big problem for consumers, moving up 4.3% year on year. Tariffs for water supply increased by 12.1% in 2025, significantly higher than 2024's rise of just 7.5%.
Do you know how I know you're a briar and not a cook? You called it beef stew. Stewing beef. You're only interested in the cuts. You can braai. I can see you. I can see you.
Not low and slow.
There's less in our pockets.
Yeah, the Banks of Africa Take-Home Pay Index are showing that South Africa's average take-home pay went down in July of 2025. The average take-home pay reached 17,144 Rand in July, lower than the 17,339 in June of 2025. So earnings going down by about 200 Rand in that month.
All right. Can we afford our stewing beef? Mateo, where's the rand?
It's tough this morning, Bongani. 17 Rand 70 against the US dollar. Weaker this morning at 20 Rand 62 against the euro and at 23 Rand 81 cents against the British pound. The price of gold at $3,337 an ounce, or platinum is at $1,334. Brent crude at $67.04 a barrel. More business after 8.
Change requires skill, an agile body to fill the gaps. But real change moves collaboratively, progressively, enabling, because it knows what to do and how to improve the lives of the deserving. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC actively brings change for the better, because real change sets a standard of living, of being. GIC, changing lives.
Time now for your latest Eyewitness News. Sfiso Zulu, let's start in Mfuleni.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The cash-strapped municipality wants National Treasury to once again write off a portion of its debt to Eskom. The municipality owed the utility 8 billion rand due to unpaid electricity bills before Treasury scrapped a portion of that debt. And after applying for the debt relief program, Treasury then wrote off nearly 2 billion rand of the debt. Alfara Mushwana has more.
The embattled Mfuleni local municipality believes it meets National Treasury's criteria to qualify for another debt write-off. This time, the municipality is seeking a further 2 billion rand reduction of its debt to Eskom. Finance MMC Hassan Mako says the municipality has already begun engaging the relevant authorities in an effort to reduce what it owes to the power utility.
There's also a process that we're undertaking now to see if we cannot get a second write-off because the amount would be 5.9 billion. And you minus the 1.9 billion, it will take it to 3.something billion.
The municipality recently landed in trouble again over another outstanding debt owed to Rand Water. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
The family of 7-year-old Lolita Goa, who was killed in Cape Town recently, says the pain of losing her still cuts deep. The little girl's body was found dumped close to her home in Khayelitsha last month. It's understood that she was also sexually assaulted. Odwa Jack and Nogutula Mjeseni have been charged with her rape and murder. Ntutuzelo Nene has more.
The family of Lolita Goa says it's still trying to come to terms with the murder, almost a month since they discovered her body at a dump site in the area. Her alleged killers, Odwa Jack and Nogutula Mjeseni, have abandoned their bail in the Khayelitsha Magistrates Court. Lolita's grandfather, Mteteli Kowa, says they'd love to see the pair rot in jail.
They killed our child and our hearts are broken. How can they kill an innocent 7-year-old child? We're really suffering over this.
Ndotozelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
Search and recovery efforts for a missing pilot at Durban's beachfront are continuing today, a week after his light aircraft crashed into the ocean during an air show. Private companies and recreational drivers are assisting in the search for the 61-year-old. He was part of an air show and was in the middle of performing his final display when the small aircraft nosedived into the sea at the Suncoast Beach last Thursday. NSRI spokesperson Craig Lebanon.
All wreckage recovered has been taken into the care of a Metro Police hangar at Virginia Airport for the Accident and Incident Investigation Division and the police ongoing investigation. Personal items have been returned to family and arrangements are being made to return additional personal items recovered.
And Palestinian militant group Hamas says the Israelis' plans to conquer Gaza City shows its blatant disregard for efforts to broker a ceasefire and hostage release deal. The defense minister has approved the military plan, authorizing the call of up to 60,000 reservists. Israel's security cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, approved the plan to conquer Gaza City earlier this month, sparking fears it would worsen the already catastrophic humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Netanyahu has come under growing pressure at home and abroad to end the war, with the German government saying that it rejects the escalation of Tel Aviv's campaign. Israel and Hamas have held on and off indirect negotiations throughout the war, resulting in 2 short truces, during which Israeli hostages were released in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 10 and 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 27 and 28.
And in the traffic in Naturena, we've got an accident on the N1 North that happened before the Golden Highway, causing about a 20-minute hold-up as we come out of the N12 exit. Please be on the lookout there. Bumper-to-bumper traffic along this route. If you are traveling in Benoni, we still have got heavy traffic volumes. This is along the N12 West. This is between Snake Road and Atlas Road due to a major accident scene.
The top story this hour, the Mfuleni municipality wants National Treasury to once again write off a portion of its debt to Eskom.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
On our healing hour this morning, we are healing from divorce. How are you healing from that?
Hi, Clement. I'm struck by the fact that so many men are phoning in. I wanted to say kudos to the women and the moms who do not use the children as pawns in a divorce or in a separation. I've been dating somebody whose ex-wife is a wonderful woman who has just been so upright and open to me and the relationship I have with their son. And I encourage every mother in that situation to be the bigger person, as painful as it is.
I appreciate that. I really do.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
At the heart of global conversations shaping the future, Africa's voice matters more than ever. As Africa's largest bank by assets and lead sponsor of the B20 Summit, Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships and potential on the world stage. Through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships, Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
When it comes to protecting your workforce, trust the workwear brand that has been protecting workers for over 150 years, Soweto. Soweto has overalls and uniform solutions for every industry, so your team is safe, comfortable, and ready to tackle any challenge. Visit our new Boksburg showroom, shop A1 Atlas Road, Westwood, Boksburg, or go to Soweto.com today. Soweto, we never let you down. Superior protective workwear since 1871.
The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates' timeless wisdom reminds us of the power of introspection. At Plus 94 Research, we delve deep into data, uncovering insights that drive meaningful decisions. Our scientific methodologies transform questions into clarity. Don't just operate, understand. Don't just guess, know. Plus 94 Research, the science of decision making.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani, Mhlengwe in Bramfisherville. What a sad story of Babita. You know, it comes back to General Mkwanazi's claim that, you know, there are policemen who, you know, abate these murders. You know, once you flagged that so much money is being paid into Tembisa Hospital, why don't you follow the money trail? You know, obviously, it's so sad. And then, you know, there's some top ANC people involved in this, as reported by the media. But again, this country is going down, Bongani. Nice show as always. Thank you.
Good morning, Bongani and fellow 702 listeners. Darian from Eldos.
the answer to your question, Babita Deokaran, was a death in vain? Short answer, yes. More elaborative, the people that are supposed to have a back aren't having a back. They couldn't care. Many of them, yes, indeed, are also afraid of further repercussions on them. But yeah, it goes back to the short answer. Yes, it's in vain that she had died because nothing has come of that. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Hi, Bongani. This thing of the Hawks not investigating these things properly, it's about the same with Clute Murray and his son that were shot on the N1. Also, I don't think anything really has come of that, and they were also big corruption busters.
I interviewed Clute Murray and I met his son. In fact, I think I may be the last person ever to interview him, certainly for television. I did that for Carte Blanche. And one of the things we always believed when we would speak to whistleblowers was that if we put a spotlight on the issues you are raising, you do become untouchable because it's too hot, you see, right? Because people will know about it. You're not just some unknown whistleblower in a dark little corner. The more you're out there and you put yourself out there, they'll leave you alone. That was the belief I had, certainly. It was the line I used to convince many a whistleblower to give us an interview. And they shot him. They shot him in broad daylight on the M1, just near where it used to be BJ's. I don't know what is it now. I think it's just two engines. I'm not sure what's at the top. You know, just past New Road, the New Road off-ramp. They shot him in broad daylight on a Saturday afternoon. There's a new book which I'm looking forward to getting my hands on, The Shadow State by Jeff Wicks, who goes into extraordinary detail about what led to Babita Deokaran's murder. It's a book just out, and I'm looking forward to reading it. The Shadow State by Jeff Wicks, if you want more details on what exactly happened behind the scenes. But I do think it's up to all of us to make sure that Babita didn't die in vain by not letting these issues go, but not letting these conversations go, and making sure that those who are in charge are doing the right thing.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. Your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. So first 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. Today's answer comes from Katleho in Pimville. Katleho, what's the answer? What's today's answer?
Good morning, Bongani. The answer is Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa. Ooh, that's a good one. Katleho, tell me, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
I'm a client already, Bongani.
Oh, look at you. 1,000 Rand is coming your way. All thanks to Outsurance and 702. All right, there you go. The answer is Mona Lisa. What is the question? Give us a call if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
All right, Anthony Teixeira, very good morning to you once again. Let's start with local football.
We do indeed, Bongani.
That happens to
Apologies
the best
for
of us.
that. But yeah,
frog that just croaks.
It is
the very worst moment.
It's always when you put on the mic. Don't know why. But yeah, we'll start with the Betway Premiership as Peter Shalulile equaled Siyabonga Nomfete's PSL goal-scoring record as he netted his 129th goal in Mamelodi Sundowns' 2-0 win over Magezi. The forward also sharing after the match his target for the season is 25 goals. Meanwhile, Orlando Pirates opened their account. They were good value for their 1-0 winner over Stellenbosch, although coach Abdeslam Nwadu felt that they lacked control throughout the 90.
There are some key moments in the game that we have to learn to kill the game and to score 2-3 goals and not to be afraid after and it's what happened in the second half. But let's not to be too hard. Let's enjoy this first 3 points, and I hope.
And Amazulu moved into the top half of the log with the 1-0 win over Marimo Galans, Keegan Allen getting the touch on Hendrik Eksteen's free kick. In rugby, the Springboks continue their preparations for the second rugby championship encounter with the Wallabies in as many weekends. Sasha Feinberg and Gomez Zulu didn't feature in last weekend's loss, but feels the double world champs will need to find a bit more of their natural game.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a bit of time. Coach is spot on. We saw this weekend what happens when you kind of drift away from our system and our structures and our fundamental things that make us a successful team. So that's definitely something I'm trying to hone into. It's been a focus point for the last week or 2 or 3, and it's something I'm constantly growing into and something that I'm going to be patient with and try to do as best I can.
Switching to tennis, Coco Gauff has split with her coach Matt Daly days before the start of the final Grand Slam of the year, the US Open. Since winning the Roland Garros title, the American's form has been inconsistent. The lowlight was the round 1 exit at Wimbledon, while her latest result has seen her out in the quarterfinals of last week's Cincinnati Open. And YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul will have a bout against an active boxer this time. The cruiserweight will be fighting unbeaten WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis. The bout won't be on the line. That's due to the size difference between the boxers, and no details have been provided on the weight limit. It's set to be live streamed on Netflix November 14th. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
Johannesburg, the Tribute to Women show is here. Join us on the 24th of August at Marks Park in Emerentia as we honor 31 years of democracy and the incredible contributions of women in South Africa. Featuring an all-star lineup, Keisha White, Ami Faku, Thandiswa Mazwai, Loyiso, and more. Get your tickets now at webtickets.co.za. The Tribute to Women show, proudly presented by Sheer Entertainment.
Your parents have done a lot for you, and now that they're 65 or even older, do one thing for them. Consider vaccination against the flu to help protect them from severe illness. Speak to your healthcare provider today to book an appointment, and it's covered by most medical schemes. A message brought to you by Sanofi.
As a business owner, would you rather deal with stacks of slips at the end of each day or have recons done instantly? Introducing Yoko Counter, the new all-in-one payments and points of sale system that removes the guesswork, the paperwork, and the time drain. Taking your business from chaos to control, guesswork to clarity, giving you back time to focus on what truly matters. Visit yoko.com today to find out more about the simple yet powerful out-of-the-box solution with free built-in point of sale software.
If you want to know about the heart and art of jazz, look no further than the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival, a grand ensemble of over 50 world-class acts across 4 stages for 3 whole days. That's right, from the 26th, 27th and 28th of September. The Sandton Convention Center will be demure and sophisticated as the fine Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2025 takes you deep into the heart, the art and splendor of jazz. Take me there. Book your seat via Ticketmaster now.
EWN Traffic.
13 minutes to 8, and this EWN Traffic is brought to you by the new Opel Grandland. With smart tech and striking design, it's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. Slow traffic on the N1 North. Amo?
Yes, Bongani, this is just as you leave Eldorado Park towards Naturina. This is due to an accident right near the Golden Highway, delays from the N12 exit. While traveling on the N17 West, we still have got heavy traffic volumes. This is between Heidelberg Road and Atlas Road, and that's due to that major accident scene as well as roadworks taking place along this route.
Now, Amo, this is brought to you, as I say, by the Opel Grandland, right? Have a listen to this ad. Isn't this the best radio ad at the moment?
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Don't ever settle for great. You know that great feeling after nailing a big presentation? Imagine upgrading that. I'm talking driving home with your car's massage seat, practically high-fiving your bum. Headlights so bright, you feel like the star your boss said you were. Arriving home, making an entrance, grander than your slide transitions. Go grand in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Visit opel.co.za for more.
Opel Grandland!
Did you know that the CSIR International Convention Center has over 40 years' experience in hosting international, local, and national business events, located on a tranquil campus in Pretoria East within the Knowledge Hub and Science Diplomacy, the city of Tshwane? This fit-for-purpose convention center is ideal for your association, congress, or other business events. For more information, visit csiricc.co.za. The CSIR International Convention Center, where smart minds meet.
Okay, it's time. An employee review of my F&B Gold Business account. Okay. You give me 10 free transactions a month, and you even help me pay my banking fees using e-bucks. Batung, unlocking more cash from my salon. No other card does this. You reward me so much, I want to reward you.
The F&B Gold Business account. No other card works harder for your business because your cash flow is worth it. F&B, help changes everything. TCs and earn rules apply. F&B, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
Live extra at Checkers, SA's #1 value for money supermarket. And save on export quality blueberries, a 125-gram cup for $32.99. Steakhouse Classic man-sized T-bone steak for 140 Rand per kilo. And Twin Saver 2-ply white toilet rolls, a 24-pack for $159.99. Valid until Sunday at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, thanks to Outsurance, please tell me what's the question. If the answer is Mona Lisa, let's go to, is it Paul in Bramley? Paul in Bramley, what's the question?
Hi, Bongani. Which painting by Leonardo da Vinci disappeared from the Louvre on this day in 1911, and thereafter became very famous?
It's not by DiCaprio? Is it Da Vinci? Are you sure?
Yeah, Leonardo da Vinci.
More than sure, of course. It's the most famous painting in the world, and it's extraordinary that part of the reason is because the story of its disappearance in 1911 was splashed around the world, as of course they were trying to figure out where it had gone, and that's part of the reason it is such a famous painting. Paul, you have won yourself 2,000 Rand in cash. All thanks to Outsurance and 702. How about that, huh?
Wayne, for you, what is the real deal?
For me, it's really customer service. It's getting my money's worth. So if I phone Outsurance and I've got a problem, they're always there.
So it's not just we've got your money, now off you go.
No, money is not the biggest deal for me. It's service. Just phone Outsurance, get a quote and see what they can offer you. If you don't save that 321 like I did, you might get a 500 or $1,000 back. Service and savings, you'll always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
What does you always get something out mean to you, Lorette?
Outsurance made it possible for us to live our dream to travel more with the money in our pocket that we save.
Let me know, what is it?
725. It was unbelievable. My husband, he sits there on the chair and he's just nodding his head and say, yes, yes, yes. This is really not just an advertisement. This is really real.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Celebrate the arrival of spring with jazz from all corners at Nyrox Sculpture Park in the Cradle of Humankind on 7 September. It features Kujenga, Tandintuli, Linda Sikakane and Sia Makuzeni. Nyrox invites you to indulge in nature and art, exploring exhibitions on the rolling lawns and meandering waterways. A perfect occasion for family and friends with curated culinary pleasures and refined bar offerings. Limited tickets are available from nyroxarts.com. Nyrox is a private, not-for-profit foundation to benefit the arts. All income is used to maintain the grounds, the artist residency program, and artist support.
For those 2 a.m. checkouts or the late-night shifts, for the last-minute orders, and the beginning of the month rush, for the 9 to 5 that becomes a 5 to 9. You don't clock out, and neither should your payments. Pay fast by network, always open for the dreamers, the doers, for you. From e-commerce to in-store payments and business funding, we have you covered. Sign up today at payfast.io.
Light the fire this game day with a winning lineup from Checkers, like Steakhouse Classic man-size rum for 170 Rand per kilo, Fanta Sprite or Stony soft drink 2 liters, any 2 for 35 Rand, save 13%, and Monster energy drink 500 mils, any 2 for 29 Rand, save 24%. Light the fire, South Africa, and let Checkers do the rest. Deals valid until this Sunday, only at Checkers.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Time now for the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
I have I have a lot of hobbies, but I thought, tell me about this guy just enjoying his.
I mean, I thought this was quite cool. So a woman walks down into the basement. So this is in the US, obviously, because they all have basements in their homes. And he's chilling there with his mate, and he's obviously broken down one part of the wall underneath and exposed this whole area where he can play. And what he's got there is these remote control diggers and graders. And he's just sitting there with the remote in his hand, and he's got this digger, and he's picking up the sand, and then he loads it into another earth moving equipment, and that's what he's doing. And I mean, they're quite big machines for remote control toys, and he's just having a good time. So maybe that's his way. He goes down in the bottom there and he kind of escapes. And I looked at it and I thought, that's a bit weird. But then I thought, it could be quite soothing, picking up some sand and moving it over to a truck and offloading it. So that's his hobby, and good for him. So then I thought to myself, well, we all got our own hobbies, Bongles, and we have our hobbies because, we get some kind of satisfaction or relaxation from them. But if you are in the dating pool, and somebody, you look at their photos and they've got maybe a photo of them on their mountain bike, or they've got a photo on the paddle court or golf course or whatever, you may look at that and think, I find that very attractive. Or you could look at it and say, no, I find that very, very unattractive. So I wanted to ask this morning, what hobbies for you do you find the most attractive and the least attractive? My missus said to me, if she looked at my photos when she was, stalking me, if she saw that I had a mountain bike or whatever, she'd be like, nah, swipe left. No, thank you.
Should have run for the hills.
Yeah, she would have run for the hills. Luckily, I fell off my mountain bike and retired it before I met her. So,
for me, I'll be more positive about it. I think, for me, a combination of somebody who's into sport and the arts just always makes life a lot more interesting, right?
Yes.
I'm not usually a fan of somebody who's into only one of those, but if you can do sport and you can do the arts, whether it's music, visual arts, theater, but you're also into, Formula One, for example, or be interesting, right?
Yeah.
Clearly I'm interested, but then you've got to be interesting.
But would Formula One or the arts be a hobby?
Yeah, it's things obviously watching Formula One is a hobby. It's something I know you're going to do. Going to the theater, going to galleries, that's a hobby.
Yeah.
Stay with me, Kabazela.
What about dancing? What about dancing? What about dancing on a Friday night with a glass of wine in your hand in your lounge?
All right, for anybody who doesn't know,
I love those videos.
For anybody who doesn't know, I do this every Friday on my Instagram. I do a dancing video, and it isn't always with a glass of wine. Sometimes I have a coffee cup, Kabazela. Pay attention.
I must say, I do love those videos.
You're throwing such shade. All right, the most attractive or least attractive hobbies a man or woman can do. Now, this is an easy one to answer. Who gets up first in your household?
Yes, whoever gets up earliest for work, do you respect the other person that's lying there? So the alarm goes off and then you got to get up. Maybe you've prepared and you've taken all your clothes and stuff out of the room, or you kind of tiptoe and you got the cell phone torch going on and all that kind of stuff. So this woman posted a video doing exactly this, and she said, my husband in the morning when he gets up early trying to be quiet. And obviously she's making all this noise. And then my favorite is she shines the cell phone torch into your eyes, so to speak. So when you get up in the morning, how do you navigate that so that you don't disturb the other person? Have you got a routine, or is it kind of, you've just got used to it now, and when they get up, you get up as well?
If they love you, whilst you're in the shower, they must be making the coffee.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? If it's true love, if it truly, truly is love, unless they're willing to make you that coffee in the morning, then it's not true love.
Then I don't have true love.
Of course, to be fair, I'm up at the morning a little bit after 3 o'clock, so perhaps I'm being a little unreasonable. But my point is they're going to go back to sleep. That's what's gone viral with Kabazel.
702. Feedback with Baphelile Sambo.
Baphelile,
hey,
does
Bongani.
anyone make coffee for you in the morning at 3 o'clock?
You know my life. Why are you doing this?
Nobody.
Your love life is just yo-yoing along, right?
It's just yo-yoing along. Hello? Help.
I'm not going to let this go until you bring this yo-yo.
I will.
You promised
I will.
us. All right, what you got this morning?
Bongani, our big interview today has sparked a lot of frustration among 702 lenders. They're saying our justice system and the protection of whistleblowers is something that needs to be revisited.
Yeah.
Many are saying that the interview we just had just goes to show how far we still need to go to fight protection and protect those who come in the front and expose these wrongdoings. Many are saying that her death, Babita Deokaran, was in vain and that we failed her.
It can't be. It can't be. Because I think then that says something even more about the rest of us as a society than those in charge, right? If we let this go, right? If we look away, we know why some might, but if the rest of us take that attitude, I mean, you heard Rakesh, really, really emotional, Babita's brother, saying, no, of course she didn't die in vain, and I agree with him. She shouldn't. At the very least, right? You've got some feedback, by the way, on that.
I do have some feedback. So today, investigative journalist Jeff Wicks will be on Mendy Winner's show. He'll be talking about his book. It's called The Shadow of State. It explores the truth about Deokaran's murder and it challenges corruption. The interview will be at 12:45 on the Midday Report.
All right. So if you wonder, because I was talking about that book, I haven't yet read it. I think Mandy thinks it's fantastic, and she's an opinion I would regard very highly. Of course, Jeff Wick's record speaks for itself in any case. So if you want to hear more about the details around the story, that's a book you should get your hands on. And you can hear the interview with Mandy Wiener on the Midday Report later today.
This is EWN.
Outer slams Patricia de Lille for the latest SA board drama, and the Madlanga inquiry is ready to start its work in 2 weeks' time. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The organisation Undoing Tax Abuse has accused Tourism Minister Patricia de Lille of political interference following her decision to dissolve the tourism board. De Lille had earlier called on the board to justify why it should not be dissolved after it convened what she describes as an unlawful meeting where irregular decisions were made. It's understood that during that meeting, the board resolved to suspend SA Tourism CEO Nombulelo Guliwe on allegations of misconduct. Outer CEO Wayne Duvenage says the minister is obstructing the work of what he believes was a capable and effective board.
This for us is gross political interference. She is getting in the way of good governance of SA Tourism, and we believe that the minister needs to retract her statement with regards to disbanding this board. And if she doesn't, then we urge the board to take the minister on in court and urgently and have her decision overturned, which we've seen in many cases before where the courts can intervene.
A list of regulations to guide the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry has been published as it prepares to probe corruption and political interference within the police service. The regulations were signed off by President Cyril Ramaphosa on Monday and gazetted yesterday. They'll provide clarity on elements including self-incriminating evidence and powers to conduct search and seizures while gathering evidence. Oren Singh reports.
Any witness testifying before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry who may self-incriminate cannot be later pursued by the Commission or any other court on charges related to their testimony and possibly self-incrimination. This is set out in a list of regulations by President Cyril Ramaphosa in relation to the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into criminality, political interference and corruption in the criminal justice system, set to begin next month in Pretoria. The regulations further stipulate that should a witness provide false testimony or refuse to cooperate with the Commission, they can be criminally charged. The Commission also possesses the powers to conduct search and seizures to obtain any evidence for purposes of the inquiry. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
The ANC says it's not ready to announce what reconfiguration of its provincial executive in the Western Cape will look like following a decision by the National Executive to make changes to the running of the party in the province. The move is said to have upset the local leadership, which says they are still in the dark as to what will come out next and what this means. The decision to reconfigure the leadership was taken after recent visits to the regions by the party's National Working Committee. EWN understands that the party's NEC is considering bringing in some old guard like former Premier Ibrahim Rasool, who recently campaigned for the party in the Matsikama municipality to salvage the situation in the province. Lindsay Dentlinga has the story.
2 years since a new leadership was elected for the province, their future is uncertain. ANC spokesperson Mahlengi Bengu says a recent announcement to reconfigure the provincial leadership does not mean a complete disbandment, as was the case in 2019.
Reconfiguration means reinforcing, strengthening, amending.
After its worst electoral performance ever in the province, with a paltry 19% of the vote in the last election, the party is now facing further threats from the Patriotic Alliance, especially in rural towns, where already 2 ward councillors have jumped ship. Bengu says the party will report back on its findings once the NEC has decided on a turnaround plan.
Current leadership of the ANC has a responsibility to ensure that we've got functional structures on the ground. And if we don't have a good state of health, obviously, the national leadership must be engaged.
The ANC's vote of no confidence in the Western Cape PEC is said to have deflated local leaders who appear to be soft targets for new political homes. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
And Brazilian police have called for former President Jair Bolsonaro and his son Eduardo to be charged with obstruction of justice for attempting to interfere with the ex-leader's trial over plotting an attempted coup. The police also revealed that Bolsonaro, who faces 40 years in prison if convicted of plotting in 2022 to overthrow his elected successor Lula da Silva, had plans to seek asylum in Argentina last year. Brazil's Supreme Court will begin deciding next month on the coup attempt charges against Bolsonaro, who led the country from 2019 to 2022. Gold is trading at $3,344.53 an ounce. The rand is at 17.70 to the dollar, 23.81 to the pound, 20.62 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.11 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays on the R21 south leaving Tembisa. This is due to roadworks taking place along this route while traveling in the city of Tshwane. Delays on the N1 south between Rigel Avenue and Botha Avenue due to an accident. The N1 north is also affected as a result.
And in your sport, wins for Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns and Amazulu in midweek Betway Premiership fixtures. Proteas coach Shukri Conrad confirms that Subrayen is to be rested in the wake of bowling technique issues. And Springbok women are looking for physicality in their World Cup opener against Brazil.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 27 and 28 degrees. The top story in EWM this hour. The organisation Undoing Tax Abuse has accused Tourism Minister Patricia de Lille of political interference following her decision to dissolve the Tourism Board.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards at 702 and Yoko. Let's celebrate excellence, one vote at a time. Go to primediaplus.com now to vote for the finalist that makes Gauteng feel like home.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Eight minutes after 8 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast. It's a busy news day. It's the 21st of August, the year of our Lord 2025. Outer now firmly opposed to the Tourism Minister Patricia de Lille's action to dissolve the Tourism Board. And this, of course, as we're getting into the warmer months, as we prepare for high season for visitors from elsewhere to come to the country. I'm looking forward to the list of regulations. I haven't seen yet the published guide in terms of the regulations of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, but I'm looking forward to this probe of corruption and political interference in the police. As Bapelile Sambo, our producer, just told you, look out for Mandy Wiener's interview a little later on with Jeff Wicks, reflecting on the Babita Deokaran story. We spoke to her brother Rajesh a little earlier on, and he really was emotional because, of course, how do you as a family even begin to find closure? You know this has happened to your sister. You know that before she was even killed, she was trying to warn her superiors and saying, do something, do something, do something. Over R1 billion was being stolen at the Tembisa hospital alone. She's gunned down in cold blood. And nobody ever comes back to you to tell you what has been done about it? Oh.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Kabazela wants to know, what are those hobbies in either men or women that you find really, really attractive, appealing? You may not do it yourself, but if somebody's doing it, suddenly there's a whole new level of interesting you see in them, right? And what are those things that are absolute turn-offs? You won't date somebody who does this. What is that? Right? You'll date someone because they do this. What is that for you? Amo?
Well, I mean, my husband cooks a lovely meal, okay? And I find that very attractive. It's he cooks lovely meals, right?
Do you?
I do. Now I do, of course. But then halfway through, I'd say our marriage, he started taking up running as a hobby. I really don't find running attractive. I don't.
But don't you run?
I mean, I do, but there we are. On weekends, we run about 10 kilometers on a random Saturday, and I'm tired. But I'm just like, no, this is good for you. I love it for you, but I'm okay. I'm good, you know?
You don't have to run with him.
No, well, I mean, I must say the talks on our runs are quite good and engaging, and we catch up and all of that. But, hey, it's tiring.
Those 10 kilometers.
It's tiring.
You're a stronger woman than I am, hey?
You took vows, you took vows.
In fitness and in health. Muteo?
My wife has green fingers, which I like a lot because she's caring and nurturing to the plants, right? And I'm just like, the time someone takes to make sure that a plant is alive, because every time I buy one, yes, I try to keep it alive, but it's not as good as she does it. Sometimes I've had plants die, you know?
Yeah. So hold on, are you also asked then to participate? Or is it just one of those things that you love for her?
Doing the digging and stuff. I love it for her that she can do that, but sometimes I don't feel like being in the garden, which I'm forced to do if she wants to add another plant. So yeah, I like it, but the labor that comes with it is not fun.
You know what I find as an unattractive hobby? People who play games on their phone, right? There are people who can watch a series, watch a movie.
Mid-conversation.
They're just playing games and they say they're here with you. They're like, no, it's not affecting my concentration. I can tell exactly what has just been said. But they're playing, I don't know, it could be Sudoku or, is that how I say it? Sudoku. See, I can't even say it right.
You just don't like the fact
I'm that resentful of it. I can't even. And they'll play these games on their phone and things are going up and down. You know those games where things like even if you put it on silent,
it still makes noise.
You can see the noise,
even
if you don't.
I can hear the
it.
trauma in your tone.
What are those hobbies that are attractive or even unattractive for you?
Good morning, Bongani, your team, and the 702 listeners. My name is Khatile from the East Rand. Kabazela. Story. But I want to say, Bongani, if this does not impress you, I don't know what will. Mamela. I'm a sports person, so I run marathons. So I went and ran the New York Marathon last year, November. And I also then went during that week just to distress, Yabon, from the stress of the marathon. I went and watched the Great Gatsby show. So the arts at Times Square. I mean, if this does not impress you, Bongan, I don't know. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Good morning, Bongs. My most attractive hobby that I think is attractive is doing puzzles and a coloring book. Like for now, that's where I'm heading. But the least attractive is my skydiving. Thanks. Cooks from Devland.
Good morning, Bongani and Kavazela.
For me, it's a guy who opens the circle. Oh my goodness. A dancer. I cannot. The minute I see that you are a dancer, no. What do you say? You swipe left or right, whatever. But I will swipe to where I say no. It's a no. I cannot. It's
I'm there within the circle.
Aye.
I'm there.
Well, every Friday you have a video in a circle.
Within the circle.
I can
one
see it
to start.
happening.
I agree with the skydiving thing. No, I don't want to be a widower too quickly. She went to go run a marathon, went to go see The Great Gatsby. Did she leave her number, Kabazel?
You're with Bongani Bingwa on 702.
Taking your calls on 011-883-0702.
We're also taking your calls on 011-883-0702. The other one, of course, Kabazela wanted to know is who gets up earliest in your home. And I've got to ask you two, particularly this question, Amo and Muteo, because we get up at the hours that we do. How do you not wake your spouses in your case? Or do they get up and make the coffee and give you a kiss on the forehead as you leave and then go back to sleep? Muteo?
I think probably secretly it's the thing my wife hates about me.
The most.
I try
So
to
you tiptoe.
tiptoe. Sometimes the baby will be in our room now, 11-month-old, and I'm trying not to wake her. Sometimes I do wake her, and then it becomes her problem. I'm leaving. And yeah, I'm sure she
Just
hates
as
it.
that sleep was hitting
and
slapping.
And she's dreaming of the lotto numbers, and I'm there, ka, you know. So she doesn't like it.
Amo?
Well, I mean, I try to prepare in the evening so that I don't have to make the noise in the morning when I get up, you know, but it still doesn't help. Most of the time, like this morning, my husband was up with me because I was too loud, you know, he couldn't stay in the bed while I'm up. So he was busy helping me prepare and all of those. So sometimes when I'm too loud, he will get up, but he won't
Poor
say
thing.
anything. He won't say, you woke me up.
See, I'm such a news junkie. As I'm getting dressed, I want the international news channels on in case there's something I've missed overnight that's
Volume?
developed.
Ooh.
Oh,
I've
wow.
got to hear it.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
No?
Just go to work.
That's why there's no one to wake up these days.
EWN Traffic.
16 after 8, the Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo, not very silently, you can tell us what's happening in traffic?
Well, we've got an accident reported in the city of Tshwane, Irene, along the N1 South. It happened near Porter Avenue. It is causing delays coming out of Rigel Avenue, so this is right through the Flying Saucer interchange. While traveling in Irene, delays along Nelmapius Drive approaching Main Road. Please be on the lookout there. While in Tembisa, roadworks taking place on the R21 South, causing delays coming out of Olifantsfontein Road. And there's also queuing traffic along the R59 North. That's in the Meriton area approaching Heidelberg Road. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 78. The GPS language setting mysteriously changed to Greek. Well, fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsman easing traffic congestion to get you there quickly and safely. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love using hashtag pointsmanlove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
What kind of message does this send around criminality policing?
We can, from our side as MPs, and that is certainly what we do as a trio. This is the work that we do. Now, we won't be able to fix the police overnight, but on this journey of fixing the police, we also need communities to take responsibility. And whether that is to be a witness or whether that is to see what's going on at your neighbor's house, with your son, your daughter, everybody has to take responsibility.
Nicholas Godsoll, DA MP.
The Midday Report,
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
19 after 8, from retirement realities to workplace reform, we've been in conversation with Old Mutual Corporate discussing ways to move South Africa's workforce forward. We've been doing this, of course. I think this is our third installment, and it all comes from the Old Mutual Thought Leaders Forum recently. They had all kinds of experts exploring how, say, government, industry, employers can work together. One of the examples they particularly focused on was the example of Australia, where their system, after 35 years, is now being considered in a way the global benchmark in terms of dealing with these issues. They even, of course, had experts coming out from Australia to come and give examples at the Old Mutual Thought Leaders Forum. So we've got Blessing Utete once again with us, the managing executive at Old Mutual Corporate Consultants, to speak to us about all of this. Great pleasure to have you once again on the show. Blessing, welcome back.
Thank you, Bongani. Good morning to you and your listeners.
Last you were here, we spoke about the fact that you guys had brought in Paul Watson coming from Australia. He's a pension expert. And this idea that the Aussies are now kind of the global benchmark on how to do this. What were the insights that you remember that came out of what he said?
Yeah, it is really seen as one of the global gold standards in the world at the moment. And really, he brought to us a view of the journey that they've been on for 35 years. And that 35-year period has seen them cover things like mandatory coverage, minimum contribution rates, and also consolidation. So really, I think the two really big learnings for us from a South African context perspective is mandatory participation and automation in terms of people being in the retirement schemes.
The tricky thing about copying and pasting, of course, is you've always got to be alive to the differences in the environment. How do we apply the lessons we can learn to suit our particular circumstances?
So certainly, I think we also on a journey. We've started our reform journey, and you know, we would have done the two-part retirement system, which covers the preservation part of it, and so people are going to be. We're going to reduce the leakage in the schemes. But when you look at the Australian context, it's a journey that has got a long time in it. So they started from mandatory contributions at a rate of 3% in 1992. They're now at 12%,
wow.
And they now have nearly 90% coverage of all their employed Australians being in the system. So it's not a question of us copying and pasting. It's us appreciating that retirement reform doesn't happen overnight.
So I guess then the question must be around how employers and policymakers are having discussions to sort of set the way forward, where there is, collaboration around what will work best.
Yes, so certainly I think that is the essence you get from the Australian story. It is about collaboration between the government, between the industry, and between key players in the market. So certainly from our perspective as well, government will play its part in terms of reforms, but certainly employers have a large part to play in terms of the trajectory or the outcomes that their employees get at retirement, because they ultimately define how these schemes are designed that they participate in.
Right, tell me about the Old Mutual Super Fund Employer Excellence Award. Who won? Why?
So this award was won by Valterra Platinum, and again, this is an evidence of an employer that's looking at the levers that really change retirement outcomes. And they looked at, there's two key levers that an employer can pull. It's really time and contributions. So they have looked at the normal retirement age, and they increased their normal retirement age, which means their employees have a longer time to save for retirement. So that's just evidence of an employer that is doing the right things to improve retirement outcomes for their employees and pulling the right levers for their employees.
What particularly stands out about this case and why you, of course, thought it was the winner?
Well, certainly it is demonstration of them putting in action the insights that they get from their experts. And the reports that they would have got would show that these are the elements that will make the biggest change in their retirement outcomes. And certainly normal retirement age was one of them. And others would be things like contribution rates, how you communicate, how you set the defaults that your employees participate in. And those are some of the things that they would have done to improve outcomes for their employees.
I think for any employer listening to us wanting to learn, I suppose, some key insights from that case study, they can go to Old Mutual Corporate /Thought Leaders Forum. As always, it's great to have you with us, really looking at how we can deal with the pressures South Africa's retirement system faces, because I think there are always opportunities for change. So all of that comes from the second Old Mutual Thought Leaders Forum held recently. As I say, decision makers, policymakers, business influencers coming together to have these important conversations about the changing world of work. And I think practical, bold solutions are the key. Big our take from that gathering. You can learn all about it at oldmutual.co.za/Thought Leaders Forum.
702, The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
Let's catch up now with news from elsewhere in the world. I hope that our signal will be a little better today, Adam, than it was yesterday.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed. Let's start with this now military build-up, an almost certain invasion, full-on invasion of Gaza City.
It appears to have started as well. Excuse me, that according to the Israeli military, they now have a foothold in Gaza City. There are large numbers of Palestinians who are fleeing Gaza City. This is in the north of the Strip, the north of the territory. There are about 1 million, nobody knows exactly, but about 1 million Palestinians living in Gaza City. If they all have to leave, they haven't yet had evacuation orders, which Israel's done previously before major military offensives, but they haven't had those. But nonetheless, where do they go? How will they eat? Where will they stay? I heard one estimate that if they move south to the next, excuse me, to the next place they could possibly stop, there are about 100 toilets between them. 100 toilets for 1 million Palestinians. I mean, just that thing alone. 60,000 reservists were called up yesterday by Israel, not thought to take part in this offensive, but to backfill other military jobs, and there are plenty of those that the Israeli military does. So here we go. There's been huge criticism even ahead of this offensive from a lot of allies of Israel, a lot of countries, the Red Cross, the Red Crescent, but not the United States, and that makes the difference, doesn't it?
How much more can one people take is really the question about this. It really is unbelievable. Adam, let's go to India now. Devastating rains there and similar flooding next door in Pakistan.
Oh, my word. Yeah, it's been biblical. Absolutely. It's a heavy rainfall, for instance, in Mumbai. Now, it is monsoon season, but this is monsoon and a half. 800 millimeters of rainfall. What are we talking? 8 centimeters of rainfall in 4 days, and simply couldn't cope. So in Mumbai, we've seen videos of people waist high in flood water, rubbish floating around too, which is clogging the sewers and adding to the problems. There was an extra issue, for instance, when a monorail train broke down because of the flooding. Hundreds of people had to be rescued from it, but it was so packed that when it broke down, people began to suffocate because they normally would have been getting out of their stations. 23 people were taken to hospital and treated for suffocation. We know about 21 people have died so far in Maharashtra state in India. But as you mentioned, in Pakistan, it's been horrendous there too. More than 300 have died in flash flooding in and around Bishnoi. It's, it's weather and a half, all right.
For a second, Adam, I'm going to ask you to pause. Just want to let our listeners know, by the way, because yours is a voice 702 Landers have been hearing really since the days of John Robbie. And if people want to see what you actually look like, they can stream into our YouTube channel right now. You've heard him for many years. If you want to know what Adam Gilchrist looks like, you can tune into our live streaming right now. Finally, then, you don't need to be a spy, I suppose, to see Adam Gilchrist.
No, but it helps. Loads of spying cases. I mean, you can wait for one for ages and then 3 come along more or less at once. A military court in New Zealand has sentenced a soldier to 2 years in prison for attempting espionage. He was trying to pass on secret information to some far-right groups. The first military conviction for spying in New Zealand history. You think it's such a benign place, but things happen. This is hot on the heels of 6 Bulgarians living in the UK jailed for 50 years in total for spying on behalf of Russia. Very old school. They had listening devices, concealed cameras, they had a fake ID printers, they had all that going on. And then we have a Chinese man sentenced to 8 years in prison in America for smuggling firearms and other military items to North Korea. How many firearms was he smuggling? I mean, would a caseload have done it? Anyway, you wonder what Sheng Hua-wen's ideology would have been. Chinese man, spying for North Korea in the United States. He got $2 million for his spying work. So obviously money talks, inevitably.
He was shaken but not stirred. We'll have to leave it there. Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
29 after 8, let's wrap up the morning's business news. Mutero Kharipe, DRD Gold announcing solid results and major capital investments.
Yeah, the Johannesburg and New York listed DRD Gold has announced its plans to invest around 7.8 billion rand in mining projects. The miner has reported a solid profit with earnings per share hitting 69%. And a 100% rise in dividends for shareholders are driven by stable operational performance. The firm has made the most of the higher gold price over the past year. The price of the yellow metal has been consistently high at record levels of over $3,000 an ounce.
Goodness me, South African consumer prices rising in July. Beef and municipal rates, the main reasons.
Yeah, local inflation went up 3.5% in July of 2025 compared to 3% in the prior month. This is the second consecutive monthly increase and the highest rate in 10 months. Consumer prices really driving up the spend in households. The main contributors to the annual inflation rate were food and non-alcoholic beverages and housing and utilities. The foot and mouth outbreak has driven up beef prices. Red meat jumped 28.8% over the past year. Stewing beef rose by about 30 rand a kilo. Now, the housing and utilities segment is the outlier here, but moving up 4.3% year on year as various municipal rates and taxes were increased. Tariffs for water supply increased by 12.1% in 2025, significantly higher than 2024's rise of 7.5%.
Your indicators?
The rand weaker this morning, 17 rand 70 against the US dollar, 20 rand 61 cents against the euro, and a 23 rand 82 cents against the British pound. Price of gold lower at $3,338 an ounce, while platinum is also in the red at $1,332. Brent crude at $67.17 a barrel. Stephen Crotis with more this afternoon.
Time now for your latest eyewitness news with Sfiso Zulu, and in the next half an hour we'll tell you about the F&B Art Prize exhibition. In the meantime, Sfiso Zulu, what you got?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Residents in parts of Sandton are warned to brace themselves for yet another day of interrupted water supply. Joburg Water says it's conducting maintenance work on a damaged pipeline, and it has impacted the Ilova Reservoir and Tower, and it supplies parts of Sandown, Morningside, Banmore and other nearby areas. Joburg Water spokesperson Nombuso Shabalala.
Water supply remains slightly opened while the teams continue with the repair work. The line will be fully recharged once the repairs have been completed. There is currently no estimated time for restoration. Johannesburg Water will, however, provide regular updates to customers on this issue.
Meanwhile, in the power front, Kanana, Freedom Park and Alexandra will remain without electricity while city power technicians conduct checks to ensure that 80% of households are up to date with their bills. Last week, the power utility announced their new policy to ensure that they get residents to buy electricity from legitimate vendors. City Power spokesperson Isaac Mangena says this is also to reduce the high number of illegal connections.
It would not only be unlawful and unsafe for City Power to reinstate supply under abnormal conditions, it would also be highly reckless. City Power is obliged to basically act in terms of the electricity supply bylaws of the City of Johannesburg, which are clear on unlawful behavior, and also the duties of us as City Power in terms of dealing with those unlawful behaviors.
The Correctional Services Department has reinstated 5 prison wardens accused of assaulting and killing an inmate at the Johannesburg prison. The officials are accused of beating Dumsani Ngwenya in 2022. Ngwenya was admitted to hospital and later succumbed to his injuries. Jabuli Lembata reports.
After their arrest, the prison officials were soon released on 2,000 rand bail each. A report by the Judicial Inspectorate for Correctional Services has suggested the assault of an inmate is likely the main cause of his death. It also suggested that an internal investigation be undertaken and a report be submitted to the Inspectorate. The report also highlights that the nurse on duty at the time understated the injuries suffered by inmate Dumsani Ngwenya. Ngwenya's aunt says she is disheartened to see the accused out on bail.
I don't understand how they got reinstated at work. I'm sure people fear them now after what they did. I just want them to get life imprisonment for what they did.
The report also suggested that the officers get training on the use of force. Jabuli Limbata, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
And Palestinian militant group Hamas says that Israel's plans to conquer Gaza City show its blatant disregard for efforts to broker a ceasefire and hostage release deal. The defense minister has approved the military plan, authorizing the call-up of about 60,000 military reservists. Israel's security cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, approved the plan to conquer Gaza City earlier this month, sparking fears it would worsen the already catastrophic humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Netanyahu has come under growing pressure at home and abroad to end the war, with the German government saying that it rejects the escalation of Tel Aviv's campaign. Israel and Hamas have held on and off indirect negotiations throughout the war, resulting in 2 short truces, which Israeli hostages were released in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 27 and 28 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 South. This is in the city of Tshwane due to that earlier accident near Bota Avenue. Delays coming off the Rigel Avenue exit while traveling in Tembisa along the R21 South. Queuing traffic coming out of Olifantsfontein Road due to roadworks.
The top story this hour. Residents in parts of Sandton are warned to brace themselves for yet another day of interrupted water supply.
Show up for the finalist who showed up for you. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Vote for your favorite local business now on primediaplus.com.
Every pothole, power cut, or burst pipe tells a story of frustration. But how that story ends up is up to you. Fix Local helps you report local issues, escalate them, or as a last resort, fix them yourself, safely and legally. It empowers you with tools to work with or hold local government to account so you can build the neighborhood you deserve. Visit fixlocal.org.za to take up issues in your area. 702 supports Fix Local. Let's walk the talk and fix local together.
Payment solutions should run with your business wherever and whenever it happens. With PayFast by Network, you can accept payments online, in-store, or on the move with one simple, secure system. And when business picks up, our Easy Advance funding gives you flexibility to move even faster. Always open, for every hour, for every order, for you. Sign up today at payfast.io. PayFast has partnered with TimeBank to offer funding to your business.
When your internet connection fails, does it really matter how fast it is? Business class internet is built for businesses. With remote monitoring, that means faster problem resolution and a backup LTE connection that keeps you online. Your company deserves business class internet because just reboot the router isn't a business strategy. Find reliability at vodacombusiness.co.za. Together, let's build the extraordinary further together. Vodacom Business.
At Premier Hotels and Resorts, business travelers staying alone enjoy a complimentary drink every night of their stay. So, whatever your tipple, it's on the house at any of our 24 hotels and resorts nationwide. Book today at premierhotels.co.za.
For the first time ever, the G20 summit is being hosted on African soil, a global moment of solidarity, equality and sustainability with Africa at the center. So tune in tomorrow between 6 and 9 for the G20 Correspondence Desk on 702, brought to you by RMB and FNB, proud sponsors of this year's G20 summit. Get all the latest news, views, insights and breakthroughs from the summit as it happens. The G20 Correspondence Desk on 702, brought to you by RMB and FNB, divisions of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hi, Bongani and the team. I live with my boys and I am an early riser. I wake up early, very early in the morning at 4 o'clock almost every day. And then I make meals in the morning, like proper breakfast. I can even cook before I go to the gym. I give myself almost 45 minutes, and then I'm at the gym at 5 o'clock. I live very close to the gym. I'm at the gym at 5 o'clock. And so, yeah, I make that noise for them, unfortunately, Shem. But they get to have hot, beautiful meals almost every day before they either go to school or they are at home as they closed. So, yeah, I am that mom, unfortunately, but I'm sure they love it. The smell coming from the kitchen as well. And then here in Kailami. Thank you. Bye.
Bongi, Mora man. Flores here from the Western Cape again. I get up first in the morning. The very first thing I do is give my wife, 35, is either a kissy in the neck or on the ear. And then I go out, put on the kettle, and then switch on the TV, volume a bit down, and yeah, I really wake her up when I bring in a first cup of coffee, and I've been doing that for so many years, and that is what has kept us together for 35 years. Have a good job. Bye-bye.
No, I'm such a sucker for romance, eh? Doesn't that sound absolutely lovely? So we were talking about who is the first to be up in your household, and whether, if you are up in the really early hours of the morning, you avoid waking your partner or your spouse. But almost every relationship I know of, you're not allowed to leave, no matter how early, without that kissy on the forehead. So the other person might as well get up and make you that breakfast or that coffee, right? Because they're going to wake up anyway when you give them that kissy on the forehead. Amo? No?
No, it's a kiss and then you can go back to bed. It's not get up.
You're going to be up anyway.
Because if you get up, that's going to be your life every day. You're going to get up at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yes, because you're going to go back to sleep when the other one leaves. Problems Anthony Teixeira doesn't have.
Good morning, Kabazela. Good morning, Bongani. When looking to date somebody and I discover that they belong to a running club, that's an automatic red flag. End of whatever we're doing, talking stage, date, whatever, we are done, completely done. I've seen what goes on in these running clubs and I want absolutely nothing to do with that. Hector in Midrand.
Hector, what? Are they running away from you in those running clubs, hey? Is that what you think the running clubs are all about? Anybody who is in a running club, is Hector wrong? Or is Hector right, is the question.
EWN Sport.
I simply meant, Anthony Teixeira, that you are probably, certainly when you are here, the first to get up in the morning.
Yes.
We're talking about making sure the rest of the household doesn't wake up.
You see, I think you've interviewed too many politicians because you're starting to speak like that. You can backtrack very quickly.
I mean, things happen.
Yeah.
Miracles do happen.
Wow.
Look at Kaiser Chiefs on a 3-match winning streak.
Yeah. And look at Orlando Pirates.
Even without my shirt here.
Yeah, well, Bongani, we will start with match day 3 concluding in the Betway Premiership. Kaiser Chiefs and Sekhukhune United are the only sides with 100% win records, while Mamelodi Sundowns have now clawed their way to third on the log following last night's 2-0 win over Magezi. Richards Bay, the only club to have lost all their games. Orlando Pirates shook off their winless start to the season with a 1-0 win over Stellenbosch. Here's Coach Abdulslam Wadu.
We completely dominated this the first half. We managed as well to manage the transitions, because we know that it's one of the best team in terms of transitions.
The Proteas could seal the ODI series against Australia with the match to spare when the pair meet Friday. Coach Shukri Conrad also revealed that Prenelin Suprayen won't feature after being reported for suspicious bowling action.
I just felt, and we just felt together with Subs, that less noise, just get him away out of the public eye, just make sure that he's okay and that he focuses on this testing,
Meanwhile, Adam Zampa has received an official warning for using inappropriate language in the first ODI loss. Play begins Friday morning at 6:15, while the Springbok women are fine-tuning their game plan for the World Cup opener against Brazil Sunday. Utility back Nadine Roos feels that the speed of their opponents is the biggest part of their game, so the Africans will need to learn and lean into being physical.
They don't really like the contact. You can even see it on the 7th Circuit as well. So I think definitely that's where we can punish them, is by just closing and killing their space. And I definitely also think, the playmakers don't give them time on the ball, because if they put those speedsters in space, they will run circles around you.
And in tennis, we saw under Arthur Ashe's roof the Italian duo of Sara Errani and Andrea Vavasori retaining their mixed doubles US Open titles by overcoming Iga Swiatek and Casper Ruud 6-3, 5-7, 10-6. Rain at Flushing Meadows meant that only 14 of the 64 second-round qualifying matches for the final Grand Slam of the year were able to be played. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
Ever driven 6 hours to get to a place that should have taken 1? Skip the detour with Sem Air, a proudly South African full-service airline, connecting you to 16 top destinations, whether it be for business or a break. Baggage included. Onboard snacks. Always. Comfort and service. Count on it. Because when your time matters, your airline should too. Book now at semair.co.za. Sem Air. More from your airline.
Beyond the roads they built, beyond the maps they drew, lies a place only the bold will know, where mountains rise like giants and rivers test your will. With a 2.4-litre turbo diesel and off-road capability, the GWM tank was born for this. Venture further in the Tank 300 from only $7,999 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM, go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank and authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
As a business owner, would you rather deal with stacks of slips at the end of each day or have recons done instantly? Introducing Yoko Counter, the new all-in-one payments and points of sale system that removes the guesswork, the paperwork, and the time drain. Taking your business from chaos to control, guesswork to clarity, giving you back time to focus on what truly matters. Visit yoko.com today to find out more about the simple yet powerful out-of-the-box solution with free built-in points of sale software.
The Festival of Motoring, powered by Westbank, brings the spirit of Ubuntu to the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit from the 29th to the 31st of August. Experience thrilling track drives, 4x4 adventures, drifting, supercar hot laps, and F1 demos. Get your tickets on Howler and use the promo code RADIO for a special discount. The Festival of Motoring, the power of new.
EWN Traffic.
14 minutes to 9. This Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amol, let's wrap up the morning's traffic.
Well, Bongani, traveling in the city of Tshwane, we still have got some delays on the N1 South between the Flying Saucer Interchange and Water Avenue. That's due to that accident scene. Please be on the lookout there. About a 20-minute hold up. In Irene, delays on Nelmepius Drive towards Main Road, while in Tembisa, delays on the R21 South just as you head out of Olifantsfontein Road due to roadworks. There's also queuing traffic along the R59 North. In fact, bumper-to-bumper traffic about a 30-minute hold up there approaching Heidelberg Road. Please be on the lookout. More updates at the top of the hour.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Just phone Outsurance, get a quote and see what they can offer you. If you don't save that 321 like I did, you might get a 500 or $1,000 back. Service and savings, you'll always get something out.
How is it that Outsurance provided the solution for you?
918 Rand is what I'm saving.
Incredible. What brought you and Outsurance together?
718 Rand. I end up saving.
They gave you the real deal.
It literally is the real deal.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
When you vote in Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko, you don't just support a business, you help rewrite its future.
Winning Gauteng's greatest, powered by Yoko, impacted our business in quite a few ways. And for our business, which is a family business, which was actually originally established in KZN, it was so important in establishing ourselves in Gauteng with our second location, which many people didn't even know. Of course, yes, I would encourage people to vote for their favorite establishment. It's really not hard to do, to just quickly go to Primedia Plus to cast your vote.
Winning Gauteng's greatest, powered by Yoko, has helped us to get that kind of public recognition, but this now gives that recognition to the staff who put in all that time and effort to give our customers the greatest pizza available. On behalf of us at Delta Cafe, I would strongly encourage all the listeners to go to Prime Media Plus and cast their votes.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Your vote is more than a click. It could be a game changer for your favorite local business. Vote now on primemediaplus.com.
When selling a car, there's nothing worse than a long, frustrating process. We Buy Cars knows life's short and time is precious, so sell your car within a day from wherever you find it convenient. Simply complete the online form and We Buy Cars will make it happen. Need a new ride? Explore thousands of vehicles online or in-store. We Buy Cars, South Africa's trusted vehicle partner.
Dear Journal, trying to be an adult, day 3,274. Every time I go to a fancy birthday dinner, I'm reminded I'm just 5 fancy birthday dinners away from financial ruin. Note to self, don't make any more born in June friends.
Recently removed from the family payroll? Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's like 570 Rand a month, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
Are you looking for the best savings on spectacles? At Specsavers, enjoy 1,500 Rand off when you get tested at South Africa's trusted and most established optical group. Get 1,500 Rand off all frames in store, or use your 1,500 Rand off on our leading lens enhancements, such as drive light lenses that reduce artificial glare whilst driving. Book online or call your nearest store today. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
Babe,
Yeah?
the fridge light finally stopped flickering.
Yeah. I replaced it.
You replaced it?
Mm-hmm.
Like on your own?
Yep.
You know what that means.
Party! Every excuse is a great one when you've got balloons, bubbles, gift wrap, cards, candles, and dress up.
I'm calling it the Fridge Light Festival!
The Crazy Store. Hey, you never know what you might find to have a good party.
Coming up
On the Clement Manyatela Show.
on 702.
10 minutes before the start of the Clement Manyatela show, he is in studio, all suited up on a Thursday.
Because that's my favorite day of the
Are we
week.
facing the nation later?
Of course. We face the nation every Tuesday and Thursday.
Is that why
But
you're
Thursday,
all suited up?
No, it's not why. Because I mean, my show is in the evening at 8 p.m.
You've dressed for the open line, have you?
Yes, because, yeah, like, unlike others, I take my listeners seriously. I come ready.
I'm in my gym clothes
I
because
can
I'm trying to
see.
get rid of this macabre.
Okay.
The
Well, we'll
alleged-
forgive you then.
The alleged.
The alleged.
The imagined. No, ukona shame.
Ukona. Well, we're in the same
present.
boat. Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah, what's on the show?
Coming up on the show today, if I were to ask you this question now and you didn't have kids, and with the economic situation in the country right now, how many children would you consider having at this stage right now?
At my age, 0.
Well, what I mean is, under these
Sure.
conditions, let's say you are much younger.
Listen, I think one.
Yeah.
Okay, what age you are? I think
Yeah.
1, maximum 2, unless you know you're both going to make buckets of money.
Yeah.
And find creative ways to still be present in your kids' lives so
Mhm.
that you're not always at work and leaving them to be raised by staff. But honestly, I think in this economy, anything more than 2, good luck.
It's a stretch,
Good
right?
luck.
I mean, I'm not even considering more than 2. 2 will probably be the limit, and that's us pushing it really. 1 would probably be sufficient. I wish
See,
there was a one
I
and a
can give
half.
you another way to answer it, right?
Yeah.
Every time I see your nice pictures at some fabulous destination, I remember that I'm paying school fees. So I can't be jealous.
I want to ask the listeners that question, Bongani, because Stats SA revealed South Africa's fertility rate, and they're revealing that it's steadily declining. It's been declining over the years from 2008 to 2025. So we're having less children.
How many kids are we having?
So in 2008, we were on, I think, 2.78 children per woman, right? And in 2025, we're at 2.21 in 2025. So I want to ask the listeners, are you one of those that are intentional about having less children given? And what are the reasons for that? Because I also have friends who are like, we've got like 4 children. And I often ask, how do you do that? And these kids go to expensive schools. How do you do that in this economy? So that's what's coming up on the 702 Open Line. And then at 10 o'clock, we're going to do our Hanging Out feature. I'm hanging out with Derek Hanekom today. He is a retired politician,
Yes, of
activist,
course.
a former cabinet minister. And then at 11 o'clock, we're going to do the Thursday dialogue. Today, I'm asking why government has failed to deal effectively with this violence and tensions between e-hailing drivers and taxi operators. They have completely failed. The drivers and the operators themselves will tell you where has government been in making sure that the regulations that exist actually get implemented. So we'll have that with the government. We'll speak to the e-hailing. We'll speak to the taxi operators. We're going to make it a round table and try figure out where to.
Another national dialogue.
Yeah, we've been
Cameron
dialoguing.
Manyatela on your radio between 9 and 12.
Meet the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, re-engineered to be our thinnest and lightest foldable yet. Move with confidence, powered by an ultra-sleek, ultra-slim design that adapts wherever life takes you. Open your world to expansive screens, seamlessly crafted for work and play. It's innovation that fits your pocket. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7 and get double the storage on us. Hurry, offer ends 31 August. T's and C's apply.
Tip your way to glory in the Hollywood Bets Punters Challenge, the free-to-play horse racing game with daily cash giveaways and massive jackpot prizes. Pick all the winners on the race card and you could win 100,000 Rand. Bet 50 Rand or more on your selections using the Bet Slip feature and you could walk away with 1 million Rand. Visit punterschallenge.hollywoodbets.net today and tip your way to the top. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008.
If you want to save on your car insurance premium, you call OutSurance, right? But what if you don't save? Well, they'll give you cash just for trying. You heard right. Just ask for 500 Rand cash. But wait, there's more. If you don't save and have been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years, you can ask them for 1,500 Rand cash. Savings or cash, you always get something out. Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. License insurer and FSP, T's, C's, and information online.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
As you well know, of course, here on 702 Breakfast, we are champions for the arts, performance, visual, and everything in between. So, calling all art lovers the FNB Art Prize. It's one of Africa's most esteemed contemporary art honors. They're set to unveil a new voice on the continent's art scene. Gresham Tapiwa Nyaude, the 2024 winner, showcasing a solo exhibition, Sugarcoats, at the Johannesburg Art Gallery in collaboration with First Floor Gallery Harare. It's happening on the 23rd of August 2025. And Gresham Tapiwa Nyaude joins us now on the line. A very good morning to you. Welcome to 702 Breakfast, and of course, congratulations.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, Bongani. Thanks for having me. I mean, it's been an honor to be like the 2024 FNB Award winner, and it's been a year full of great possibilities, and yeah, it's been amazing.
I mean, with this recognition, I'd imagine your profile is going to grow significantly.
Oh yes, absolutely, man. I mean, like I've said, like it's been amazing. Like, one of the most important thing for me getting this esteemed award is one of the most biggest awards in Africa, and to be recognized on the continent with your own people is such a big thing for me.
I'm watching some of your work on Instagram. In fact, I've just pressed the follow button there to be able to see.
Thank you.
How would you describe your art in terms of, what would you describe? How would you describe it?
Well, yeah. So I think, I mean that's a tough question for a painter to describe his work in words rather than using color. But I mean, I think I like to use metaphors and symbols and things that we go through every day. So I just try to sort of like translate them to the canvas, things we talk about every day, the fashion and everything, the symbols, the idioms, the slang. I just shove it there and make sense of it in the canvas. Try to tell my story.
Could I have a stab at it and say that it's realism in avant-garde?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, but I mean, yeah. So what I basically do is like I try to like the way when we communicate was it's a form of communication, and when I communicate and when I speak to my audience, the same way like we are speaking right now is the best way not to complicate it for the viewer or for the people you're communicating with. So I try to translate the words or the slang or the symbols that you see every day and you recognize them on the canvas and easily like that. That's how I just put it. But I mean, of course, there are metaphors which carries some meanings and some symbolism behind. But that's basically what I do. Whereby like I just put things that you see every day and give you. But once I sort of like focus, I make you focus on them on the canvas. Then we have a conversation.
So tell me about the idea for Sugarcoats, which of course is the theme of your exhibition that is going to be unfolding this week.
Well, Bongani, if you know my work, I've been like I tackle like sort of like heavy subjects throughout my career. I speak a lot about social justice in Africa. I speak about corruption. I speak about other things, and these things are not easy. Like where we are right now in Africa, they are not easy to speak about. Like in the way because there are kind of some. There will be some kinds of censorship or whatsoever. So the best way to put them is like I try to say these topics in a more sweet and beautiful way. That's why the colors are candy. Everything is super finessed, super fine, so that we can have these uncomfortable conversations. So the term sugar coats, whereby everything, the drip is fine, everything is cool on screen, but there's a layer beneath all the time.
Listen, whether it's charcoal or oil on canvas, it's some of the best example of modern art around, and you can see it at the Johannesburg Art Gallery. The exhibition is on from the 23rd of August at the Joburg Art Gallery. And as I say, it's called Sugarcoats with the FNB Art Prize winner, Gresham Tapiwa Nyawude.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of 702 Breakfast. We'll see you bright and early for the Friday edition. The Clement Manyatela Show starts now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Tourism Minister Patricia de Lille is expected to initiate the process of appointing a new board at SA Tourism after dissolving the current one. De Lille announced the sacking of the board yesterday with immediate effect. The Tourism Ministry CISA reports.
On the 1st of August this year, the SA Tourism Board convened a special meeting, but that meeting has landed the members in hot water, resulting in the dissolution of the board.